North this deep in to the district schedule. They have that 3-1 record, tied for second with Frisco, which you usually would think if those two played head-to-head that you have to give the nod to McKinney North just based on common opponents who they've played, scores, and things of that nature. Then, this is a big one. Also, the thing you got to realize with 2 games after tonight, if McKinney North wins this one, which on paper, again, they should, but, that's why we play it. But if they win tonight, then they're almost all but assured a playoff spot.
Last year, the 2 wins that they had were against Keller Central, 48-22. And they also had their win in the last game of the year. They shut out Frisco Centennial 52-0. So they were 2-8 last year, and their 2 wins came in the week 8 and 9. Here we are in week 7, and they've already got 5 wins.
Well, not to look back to last year, but that's why coaches say they want to finish strong heading into next year, just show that they can do it. Now, granted, not the biggest of competition in those 2 games you named, but they're still wins nonetheless, and we kind of see now a carryover effect from that.
Well, McKinney North has won 4 of its last 5 ball games. The only loss comes to Hebron, who is undefeated at this point. Hebron now 7-0 on the season, 4-0 in district. They've only given up 46 points all year long, and they only gave up 7 to McKinney North. And I tell you what, McKinney gave them a little dance last week over at their place, but that just tells you right there, McKinney North is very hot. They've been playing very well, 4 out of their last 5, but they only lost to the district-leading Hebron. And I'm telling you, we were talking to Coach Sean Pratt before the game, and it may not be mathematically correct to say that they've clinched the playoffs tonight, but they hold the tiebreaker over everybody.
Well, yeah, you look at who they've played. The only team they don't have a tiebreaker with in games played would be Hebron, but they're 4-0 and almost all but assured a playoff spot. They haven't played Frisco. They haven't played Northwest. They'll do that tonight. McKinney's 2-2. They've played them, and then they've played everybody below that. And then you just got to look. If you win tonight, now you put yourself in a position to get the tiebreaker advantage over Justin Northwest, and to have 2 games left, have a 4-1 record. I mean, there's with a 4-1 record, there's not much you can do to lose a playoff berth.
To give you the scenarios on the district race without trying to give you tired head too much, if both McKinney and McKinney North win tonight, that would put North in Division II and McKinney going in Division I. Now, they'd be tied with Frisco, but would hold the tiebreaker there. If McKinney North loses and McKinney wins, that would create, quite a logjam for second place. North, McKinney, Frisco, and Northwest would all be 3-2, assuming the outcomes that we project. If McKinney North loses and the Lions lose, if everybody loses in McKinney tonight, basically you've got 5-0 Hebron, and you've got 3 teams at 3-2, which would be North, Frisco, and Justin Northwest. So McKinney would fall way off with a loss tonight over there at their place. And McKinney North win and a McKinney Lion loss would basically have North in at 4-1, Hebron at 5-0, and Frisco at 3-2, everybody else at 2-3. So what we're really hoping, if you're a McKinney North fan, you got to hope for big brother over there too, McKinney, and see if they can fight their way in, because you would like to see McKinney North take that Division I spot because they have more kids in the population. If McKinney is in, they go Division I, which means McKinney North would go Division II.
Well, I'm not so sure that some of McKinney North is rooting for McKinney. We are rooting for McKinney. We do both teams, so we ideally would, but I'd be willing to bet there's some North fans out there who just wouldn't shed a tear if they didn't make it.
Changes in tonight's lineup. Jeff Olson will not play. He is out. The H-back, the stand-up H-back, I guess you call him, he's really a tight end. In his place will be Ryan Selby-Carney. He will switch numbers from 58 to 48 and play that stand-up slot. So we'll progress Ryan Selby-Carney's numbers tonight as he moves along. He's basically there to block.
Yeah, and that's all they need in this offense, because one of the big downfalls of having the great receiving core is that they're all out in a pattern, so they need to bring in that 6th player to block, and sometimes when that doesn't happen, Herbal hits his back, and he's not as effective when he has to use his feet as when he has to use his arm.
Well, we're going to give you the senior spotlight coming up in a moment. We have Justin Janow and also Micah Moore, the 2 seniors that we talked to. And this ought to be a great game. This is a huge football game with implications in District 9 4A. It's McKinney North and the Northwest Texans. We'll be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms, actually in Fort Worth, even though it's the Justin Northwest Texans, the opponents of the McKinney North Bulldogs tonight. We are just about 15 minutes away from kickoff, and Teddy Saffo down on the sideline has some information for us about the stadium, the brand new stadium, isn't it, Teddy?
Yeah, brand new stadium, but we were here a few weeks ago, so if you guys do remember, and that previous broadcast, I did mention it cost $19.5 million to build, and 40% was paid for by Pepsi. And, of course, there's a brand new Asher Place surface, so tonight's playing surface shouldn't be a problem like last week's game. But I did happen to talk to Coach Pratt about tonight's game plan. He said, well, it's not anything different from any other week. He said, well, first of all, you have to get the running game going. And, of course, if you can get the running game going, passing is much easier. And speaking of passing, I did see Eric Herbal in warm-ups, and he looked really sharp throwing the ball. And on defense, he said the main objective was to stop the quarterback and the running back. Of course, we know Drew Ashley, so far at this point of the season, he's rushed for over 1,200 yards. And the quarterback's been running really well the past few weeks as well. And he also said it was important to control the clock and ball control as well. And he said that if they can do all these things, they should be fine for tonight's game.
All right, Teddy, thanks a lot. Talking about Drew Ashley, and he is their main threat on offense. He's their running back over there. And Ashley has 174 carries, 1,181 yards, 16 touchdowns in 7 games. That's they said he averaged 3 touchdowns a game last year on the freshman team as a freshman, obviously. But he's averaging 6.78 yards per carry, and he's basically the offense. He's what they want to do on offense.
Yeah, they can do some passing, so I'm just going to get into the comparisons here between the key positions. We'll start off with Northwest. Will McAngus, he does have a 66% completion percentage. He's thrown 77 completions on 117 attempts, but only 1,031 yards and 5 touchdowns. Conversely, he's had to rush 73 times for 322 yards. That's a 4.4 yards per carry average. And for a quarterback who takes sacks, and there's a lot of negative plays in it, that's actually pretty good, and he scored 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, Eric Herbal has thrown 56 completions on 110 attempts for a 51% completion percentage. But despite throwing 21 less completions than his counterpart McAngus, Herbal has thrown for 1,134 yards, which is over 100 yards more, and also 3 touchdowns. So while the completion percentage is less, the big play then dictates that it's more of a factor in this North offense. He's also had to rush 49 times for 159 yards. It's only 3.2 average. It's still pretty good for a quarterback who takes sacks. Now, the running back comparison, just like Teddy made mention earlier, Drew Ashley, 174 carries, 1,181 yards. It's a 6.8 per carry, 16 touchdowns. So if you put it in comparison, the quarterback's only thrown and rushed for 8. Meanwhile, their halfback, Ashley, has crossed the end zone twice as many times. Meanwhile, Chase Barrett has 143 carries for 902 yards, a 6.3 average, so pretty close to the same average as Ashley. And Barrett himself has scored 12 touchdowns, but he works in a more varied offense that can also pass the ball. Then the 2 leading receivers for the Texans, Bryant Maxwell's 28 catches, 327 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Remember, he actually had some pretty decent numbers heading into the first district game against McKinney, but McKinney shut him out, and he hasn't been as big a factor in district play as he was in non-district play. Cameron Eubanks, the McKinney North leading receiver, at 21 catches for 137 yards and only 2 touchdowns. Eric Herbal does throw it around quite a bit, so there's quite a bit of other receivers who's pulling the catch. So there's your top 3 offensive statistical performances for both sides, and you can see, other than the running backs, McKinney North has the clear advantage.
Yeah, and another advantage that McKinney North has is, if you get down a little bit, if you're McKinney North fans and you find yourself down at halftime, don't leave, because McKinney North outscores their opponents 93-48 in the second half. That's a huge stat. Now, they give up the majority of their points in the second quarter. They've given up 71 points in the second quarter. They've also scored 71 points in the second quarter. But the third and the fourth is where they really take possession of the football game.
Well, that's generally a sign of a good, well-conditioned team, and generally good, well-conditioned teams are going to be your winners. You're not going to see a lot of teams that win games that lose the second half battle. That also shows a sign that the coaches know what to do at halftime. Once they've seen what they've seen, all huddled together and throwing out their ideas, the adjustments they make generally work.
Another stat that maybe goes against McKinney North a little bit is the turnover ratio. They are a -5. And when we do McKinney games, we talk about how McKinney is so dominant in the takeaways. McKinney North, not so much. They have fumbled 10 times and been picked off 6. They've also recovered 7 fumbles and picked off 4 passes themselves. So that's a -5 on the ratio. And I think that may be an important key in tonight's football game. You're going to have, Justin Northwest is not going to roll over by any means. Their playoff life is on the line just as much as McKinney North. And
even more so, actually.
And you're going to have to, if you're McKinney North, you're going to have to try to fight for that football and get a turnover or 2.
Yeah, and another thing that was really hurt North this season has been the penalty yardage. If they can become a little bit more disciplined and then just play us up to what they can play, they'll be okay.
We'll have to see if their wide receiver, Zach Palmer, will be in the football game or not. He didn't play the last 2 weeks, did not catch a pass. So, as a matter of fact, you have to go back to 3 weeks ago when Keller Central was dominated by Justin Northwest. Zach Palmer was the leading receiver, 7 catches, 130 yards, and a 58-yard touchdown catch from Will McAngus. Zach Palmer is a big part of their offense, and if he's not on the field tonight, that's huge for McKinney North.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that they have to work on is getting the guys who need to get the ball, and the guys who need to be big play in that big play. You look back at the McKinney game, when there was a big interception for McKinney, they were in position to make that. You got to make sure your big playmakers on defense are there, like your Kenny McGowan, your Colton Floyd, James San Miguel. In the meantime, on offense, you got to get Chase Barrett involved. You got to get Chase Barrett the ball early and often, and then once the defense starts keying on Barrett, that's when everything else works. If Barrett doesn't have success, usually this offense doesn't have success. Look at the Hebron game 2 weeks ago. They were keying off Barrett. He had no success, and that offense really struggled.
The captains for the Justin Northwest Texans coming out on the field, Cody Albright, along with Dario Murillo and Lambert Phillips Jr. They stand at the 50-yard line on the sidelines talking to the officials. And why don't we go ahead and give you the officials for tonight's game. The referee is Nat Maxson, the umpire, Pete Slaughter, the head linesman, Clifford Peacock, the line judge, Leroy Jones, and the back judge, Jeff Brixey, out of the Dallas chapter. And the McKinney North Bulldogs coming out. The captains are coming out on the field. Justin Janow, Blake Boblitz, along with Eric Herbel. There is Cameron Eubanks, Kirsten Williams, and Ryan Burke make their way to the sideline. And the Bulldogs come out tonight in their road whites with their orange helmet. We've said before, they look kind of like the Cleveland Browns helmet, except replace the brown with the blue. Teddy Saffo is down on the sideline now. The captains are making their way towards the middle of the field. We'll get the coin toss for you as McKinney North Bulldogs walking pretty fast out there, and the Texans are kind of taking their time. Here's Teddy Saffo.
Texans, number 44. They've got a mic. Good
luck, son. Good luck, son. Good luck, son. Okay, fellas, if y'all will kind of come in real close so we can hear each other in case the PA goes nuts on us. Other side. All right, fellas, what you're doing is you're out here representing yourselves, your families, your schools, and much more importantly, football players that you're trying to be, correct? Play by the rules. Knock them down. Help them up. Knock them down again, but play by the rules. If you don't, we'll take care of the problem, and you won't like the way we take care of the problem, I guarantee you. Okay? I'm going to call y'all red, call y'all white. Since you're the visitor, we'll let you call the coin toss. If we drop it, we'll do it all over again. What are you going to call, sir?
Tails.
What did he say?
Tails.
Pete, he called tails.
Call them tails.
What is it, sir?
Heads.
It is heads.
Yes, sir.
Home team, you won the toss. You can kick off, defend the goal, defer your option, or receive.
Receive.
You wish to receive. Which way do you guys want to kick?
Kick this way.
Kick to the clock.
Yes, sir.
Face the clock, shoulder to shoulder, please. Y'all turn around and face these gentlemen, shoulder to shoulder. This way.
All right, Teddy Saffo. That was a very excited down there. It was a very stern Nat Maxson, the referee on the field, as he basically told him, "Hey, you want to do your job out there, don't get in trouble, and you won't like the option if you do get in trouble. So McKinney does basically what they want to do. I talked to Coach Sean Pratt on the field earlier, and he said if they win the toss, he would like to defer towards the second half. Well, it works in his favor anyway because Northwest wins the toss, and they elect to receive. They kind of want to get on the board first. And the Northwest Texans are in their tunnel. They kind of look like they're the red version of South Lake Carroll. They have the New York Jets style of uniforms with this stripe right over the sleeves as they break right through their Texas flag out of their tunnel.
Oh yeah, the horn.
And we're back over here, and that horn is prevalent. The McKinney North Bulldogs are in their bulldog face. They're right in the mouth of the big orange bulldog. They're jumping up and down. I saw J.R. Housey a moment ago, and we're going to try to talk to him at halftime. Of course, last year's running back for the McKinney North Bulldogs, and here come the Bulldogs. So far, a lacking crowd made it all the way over here to Fort Worth from McKinney North, but we've seen in weeks past sometimes they just take their time getting over here.
Well, this is the furthest opponent in district play for McKinney, so, rush hour traffic, you just get off your job. That's a long way to go up from McKinney down to here.
Well, we're about 2 minutes away from kickoff, so we'll take a quick timeout and be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Saffo. We're just about to get underway as the Northwest Texans will receive the opening Beef O'Brady's kickoff, and the McKinney North Bulldogs will be kicking from left to right. So the Northwest Texans will be moving right to left on the radio dial. Have some exciting news for my compadres here. This is this is one of my last games as a bachelor.
Oh, really? Yeah, you told us you had big news and we're hiding it from us and you wouldn't tell me. Wow, congratulations, amigo.
Thank you very much.
When's the date?
December the 3rd in the big city of Howe, Texas.
That's a long way away.
A long way away from here, which is in the middle of nowhere.
No kidding.
As we look over, we could see the skyline or the line of the Texas Motor Speedway. Since it's dark, we can't see it anymore and can't see much of anything except the Fort Worth Alliance Airport is lit up just to our right as we face back east. As the McKinney North Bulldogs come out on the field, Blake Boblitz is standing at the 36-yard line awaiting, and they actually faked the onside kick. It was the quail onside, what we used to call it years ago, as Boblitz now goes back in his regular formation and wanting to boot this ball away. And he runs to the ball, kicks the pooch kick. It's going to be taken at the 14-yard line. The returner is going to try to find the far sideline, and it goes down at about the 3-yard line. And on the return was Blake Collier for the Northwest Texans, and they'll take over there at the 31.
Yeah, only Blake Boblitz can make a pooch kick go past the 20. Generally, that's around the 35 range, but his leg's just so strong. And then a nice wedge set up front by the Northwest Texan return team. And Collier was able to scoot the wedge, go around to the right side, and down to the sideline near the 31.
After this first down play, we'll give you the McKinney North starting defense, the Bulldog defense. On 1st and 10, 3 receivers come near side, 1 to the right. This is going to be the quarterback, McGangus, finds Collier on the pass and is caught at the 35, out to the 40, being wrestled down, and 5 Bulldogs trying to bring him down, and they finally do, but not until he gets to the 44-yard line and a new first down. Here's the McKinney North starting defense. On first down, McGangus is going to hand off to the right side, and that's Drew Ashley. Cuts it up 50, 45, makes a move down to the 40-yard line. And on the very first carry for the night for Drew Ashley, it's enough to move the sticks once again, good enough for about 17 yards.
Here's the starting line for the Northwest Texans. We have the skill positions after this play. The left tackle is senior Cam Investor, left guard Justin Smith. He's a senior. Junior Bradley Davis into the center. Right guard Zach Brammer, senior, and John Mitchum is the right tackle. He is a junior.
So 3 first downs already for the Northwest Texans as they are now in McKinney North territory. This is early on, or 2 first downs rather. Two receivers either side, and McGangus wants to throw under pressure, and he is sacked in the backfield back at the 43-yard line. So only a 3-yard loss, but it's good news, as I believe that was Zach Plummer. Is that what you saw?
James San Miguel coming from the line. According to the roster, he's number 20.
San Miguel coming back. He's the leader on defense, is what Micah Moore told us, and Justin Janow. I asked them earlier on if they had a leader on the defense, who would it be? And James San Miguel was the guy they both picked out. Two receivers go to the far side. Again, moving right to left is Northwest. Shotgun formation. This is going to be a handoff. Ashley, he's in trouble behind the line and buried back to the 48-yard line. A 5-yard loss. Kirsten Williams and others on the play.
Here's the starting skill positions at quarterback. Junior Will McAngus, coach's son. Drew Ashley, the sophomore tailback. Cody Yenter is the H-back. The receivers look like this. Zach Palmer, the junior. Brian Maxwell, the junior. And Blake Collier, a senior.
9:52 here in the first quarter. No score in Fort Worth, Texas at Northwest ISD Stadium between McKinney North and Justin Northwest. Two receivers to either side for Northwest. And McAngus is in shotgun formation. He's rolling right side, looking to pass, and he's trying to find the corner now. Throws it downfield, caught, and out of bounds. He was hit short of the first down marker by Cole Permetter, and that is going to be about 6-7 yards short of the first down with 9:20 left to go here in the first.
Well, that's the bonus of having a 3rd and 18 situation, is you can give up, in this case, an 11-yard pass, and you're still in great shape. They're still facing a 4th and 7.
Fourth down for the Northwest Texans. They will send in a man. Cody Yenter will come in, the tight end. And I guess this is kind of the in-between area, and they're probably going to go for it here. Ashley is in the backfield standing beside Will McAngus, the quarterback, the coach's son. Two receivers out left side, one to the right. McAngus wants the ball, gets it, drops back 3 steps under pressure, throws it out to Ashley, and he drops it. And that could be a fumble. Ashley jumps back on the ball again, and the ball will turn over on downs. What a great possession, or a great first start for McKinney North.
Remember, the first time we saw the Texans were earlier this year, and McKinney was able to get 3 goal line stands off of them. And when they had a 1st and goal at the 1-yard line, Texans were only able to get 3 points out of it. So it's just a situation where this offense can move the ball in between the 20 and 30s. But once they start to get deep, they struggle a little bit. That's just based on what we've seen on one game. Of course, they're 2-2 in district, so they've had some success.
McKinney North will take over with 8:44 left to go in the first. No score. Herb will hand off. That's going to be Chase Barrett running right side. He slips down at about the 38-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 38, so we'll call it a no gain.
Yeah, it was a simple off tackle right side, but he was touched in the back by a Texan defender, and then he was able to shake that, but then lost his footing around the line of scrimmage and dove forward for a yard gain.
If you just joined us, there's a number 48 on the field, and if you're not familiar, Ryan Selby Carney has changed numbers from 58 to 48 tonight with the injury to Jeff Olson. Selby Carney will actually go in motion here to the tight end spot, and now Herbal will call a timeout. We'll take one, too. 8:08 left to go in the first quarter. No score between Northwest and McKinney North. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. On second down, they run the reverse over to the far side to Ayton Williams, and Ayton Williams goes out of bounds after a gain of about 2. Here's the McKinney North starting offense. Third down, Herbal wants to pass, set up the screen pass up in the middle, and the Northwest Texans sniff it out. Only a gain of minimal yardage. It was Cameron Eubanks who came up the middle on the middle screen. It was going to be a gain of about 4 yards, possibly 3, all the way out to the 42-yard line. A 3-yard gain, call it. But that will set up 4th down and 6 with 7 minutes to go here in the first quarter and punt time for McKinney North.
Yeah, we'll get the defense next series. That was a situation where Herbal just let it lofted the ball too high. Eubanks had to jump up and get it. By the time he came down, it hit in the back.
Here's the punt by Brandon Dunn. It's an end-over-end punt, going to bounce at the 29 and take a Northwest hop, and will be down right there at the 32-yard line by Bill Calley, is the man who stops the ball. With 6:42 left to go in the first quarter, Northwest will take over here, moving right to left again. No score here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Could have used a better punt, only 26 yards, and Northwest takes over. Relatively decent field position. almost exactly where they started off their first drive.
Well, they started out at the 31 on their first possession, started out at the 32 here. Shotgun formation, 3 receivers to the near side. McGangus looks over to the near side, throws it, and it is caught and dropped. So 2nd down and 10. On the near reception on that play was Cody Getz. Tried to make it. It just hit him right in between the 3 and the 0.
Yeah, usually that's where you get the cliche, started to run before he had it, but I think that was true there. As that hit him square in the breadbasket. That's no excuse from a coach's standpoint.
6:38 to go in the first quarter. No score. This time it'll be McGangus sending out wide. Bryant Maxwell. And he's going to hand off Ashley this time. Running left guard, cuts it up inside, goes past the 35, out to the 40-yard line and near the first down. So another big carry for Drew Ashley. Give him 8 on that play, all the way out to the 40.
That's a guy who really sees his blockers well. That was supposed to be a left tackle run. We got a flag on the play, so it may negate that. Nope. 5-yard face mask on McKinney. It'll actually give them the first down via the penalty. But what that is he's just able to see his blockers so well, and there was a good wall in front of him off that left tackle, but a small gap had come in between guard and tackle there, and he shifted really quickly, juked and cut upside, and was able to get 7 yards, and the penalty adds another 5.
One thing we haven't mentioned is McKinney North has struggled on the road really this year. The only place they've won on the road is Lake Dallas. Here is some motion up front. Somebody moved early. The ball came out, and McGangus jumped on it, but they blew the whistle dead, and flags are down. Somebody jumped a little early.
Well, I saw Kirsten Williams from his nose tackle come through. The McKinney North sidelines urging for an illegal procedure, but no, they're going to get encroachment on the defense, dead ball foul.
Well, you have 10 yards of penalties here in this drive so far, and that'll move the ball out just near midfield, just short of midfield.
Well, that's, again, what I mentioned in the pregame that really hurts McKinney North. They just have the ability to get the inopportune penalty, and now that we're looking at a 1st and 5, and with this Texan offense at midfield, this should be an easy conversion to another first down series coming up.
Ashley will stand to the left side of Will McAngus and send Bryant Maxwell out far side to the left. And shotgun formation. He's going to look over to Maxwell, throws the fade route down, and Bo Burns in coverage can't make the play, and Maxwell makes the catch inside the 30-yard line, down at the 30, actually the 26 is where they're going to mark it. Big throw and catch there from Will McAngus to Brian Maxwell.
Should have been a push-off. Maxwell gave Burns a little push. Saw it the whole way, but I don't know how the officials missed it unless they were looking at the ball, but that was clearly a push-off.
Well, Maxwell came in tonight with 28 receptions, 327 yards, and 3 touchdowns on the year. Give him a big gain right there. Shotgun formation. This is going to be McAngus rolling out right side, trying to find his man out there, and he is caught and immediately pushed out of bounds. And I believe that was Maxwell running on the far sideline, and it was. So another catch by Maxwell takes the ball out inside the 20 to the 19-yard line, and now Justin Northwest is in business.
Yeah, again, Maxwell, their leading receiver. And besides Maxwell, there's not a whole lot of guys who will get as much attention from the receiving end as he will. It's a second reception, now 30 yards on this drive.
Jacob Withers goes far right side. And McAngus wants a snap, gets it, handoff Ashley up the middle, and he is met and buried right behind the line of scrimmage. A great play by Micah Moore.
North coming on the blitz defensively. And it was a good job because it was a quarterback option by McAngus to either give it to Ashley or keep it himself. Had he kept it himself and tried to run, which would the read initially would have been because the end was committing to him, or rather to Ashley, he would have been buried by the blitz, and he's had enough vision to see the blitz and give it to Ashley.
Ball resting at the 21-yard line, 3rd and 4. 2 receivers out left side. McAngus handoff. Ashley running left tackle, being chased down is James San Miguel was cut down, and Ashley's able to make it to the far sideline. Flag down on the play. Brandon, what did you see?
And I saw holding on the offensive line that it was allowed to spring Ashley on that right side, left side.
I think that was James San Miguel. I was watching San Miguel chase him down, and all of a sudden he was cut down really quick, and I think that's what the infraction is going to be. They're going to move it back against Northwest. It'll now be, we'll see what, I guess it'll be 3rd down and 14 on the play. as the ball should be spotted at about the 31. They're going to actually spot it at the 29-yard line.
So I guess they called it the holding downfield, which I suppose was a push downfield. So you give credit to Ashley for a couple of yards on the run.
So the ball's at the 29-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 8. As watch for Bryant Maxwell. He's on the far right side. 2 receivers to the near side. Shotgun formation. Ashley stands to the left side of McGangus. He's going to fake the hand to him. Throwing left side. Has a man caught for a first down towards the near hash. And on the reception is Arsenio Phillips. He was a leading receiver last week with 6 catches and 80 yards. He has really been the go-to man since the injury to Zach Palmer. And Arsenio Phillips comes up big there with the first down. The ball is now at the 12-yard line.
Yeah, that was a pick play. That's borderline illegal as the 2 receivers directly crossed each other to try to screen out the defender.
Shotgun formation. 12 yards away from the end zone is Northwest. Going to throw out right side this time and incomplete to Maxwell. He just overthrew it, but a flag down. A late flag comes in right at the goal line. And you have to think that they're probably looking at McKinney North on that one. Coyle Permetter was out in coverage, along with Martin Holmes, the safety. The officials are discussing it now.
And it's against McKinney.
And it is. So a crucial penalty there. The ball really, for all intents and purposes, was uncatchable. He had to dive, and he nearly got his fingers on it, but he really had to dive for that ball. It's not one of those obvious balls that was not catchable. That one was fairly close. That'll put the ball right at the 3-yard line. 2.5, call it. 2 receivers near side. This is going to be McGangus. Handoff. Ashley up the middle, fighting for yardage. He's not going to make it. He's going to surge his way down to the 1, however. So Drew Ashley has been held in check so far tonight by that DPD defense.
Yeah, they're going to need a big stand here, just like McKinney did 3 times. There's been some sloppy play and some questionable calls at best.
Arsenio Phillips goes out of the game. And Jacob Withers checks in. 2 receivers to the right side this time. 2 men in the backfield, either side of McGangus. He's going to hand off Drew Ashley running right side. Hit by James San Miguel, surging his way towards the end zone. No signal yet. And now they say touchdown. And man, that thing's loud. Touchdown, Justin Northwest with 3:29 on the clock. 6-0, they take the first lead tonight.
Pure second effort on the part of Ashley there. He was met at the goal line. I thought it was tackled short, but I'm at a bad angle here. And apparently just pushed his way because that pile was moving, fell across the goal line. That's all pure power on Ashley's part.
Well, the on for the PAT will be Stephen McMullen. And the kick is back. It's blocked, and it could be picked up by North, but they're going to let it roll into the end zone. And now Northwest tries to recover it and rolls out of bounds. So the extra point is no good. 6-0. That could be big. 3:29 left to go here in the first quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. On the drive, it was 8 plays, 68 yards for Northwest. They take 3 minutes and 13 seconds to do it. Capped off by a 1-yard touchdown by Drew Ashley, his 17th of the year.
Yeah, and that's the situation on that blocked extra point that at best McKinney North can return for 2 points, and at worst needs to just pounce on it, but they were content to let it roll. And if they had let it roll and Northwest jumped out in the end zone, that's 2 points for them. Luckily, it went out of bounds, but that was close to being a disastrous play.
We just got a new score from Sherman. The score up at the Voodoo Palace in Wichita Falls. Ryder already on top, 13-0 in the first quarter there. Here's the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's going to be a high squibber, and it's going to be taken by an up man for McKinney North, fighting his way out to the 38-yard line, and that's where North will take over. That's a very dangerous play. Chase Barrett, I believe, made the reception. That's one you think you might want to call fair catch, but he took it on the run.
Yeah, Chase Barrett is one of the guys you feel comfortable with doing that, and he did it well. And actually got about 5 yards on the return.
Let's check that on the field with Teddy Saffo. Teddy, what do you got for us?
Field goal there by Kirsten Williams was gave the team a little bit of momentum, especially after the bad call by the head referee. Coach Pratt did get onto him about it during the timeout, so hopefully let's see if things will change a little bit on the McKinney sideline. Back to you guys.
All right, 3:21 left to go in the first quarter. Shotgun formation for McKinney North. Handoff, Chase Barrett running left tackle, fighting for yardage, and pushes his way for a couple out to the 41-yard line.
Let's get the starters on defense now. We'll get you the guys inside the box first. The defensive end on the left side, Peter Brooks. Your two tackles are Lambert Phillips Jr., Billy Smith. Marcus Muniz is the right defensive end. The linebackers are Nelson Windebank, Adrian Brown, the Mike backer, and on the weak side is Travis Cate. Secondary coming up.
It'll be 2nd down and 7 here. 2:46 left to go in the first quarter. Herbal in shotgun formation. Barrett will now move to the right side of him. He's going to fake the hand to him, go to throw it downfield. He's got a man open. Cameron Eubanks makes the catch and then fumbles. He was popped right after the catch, and he fumbles the ball. It's going to be recovered by Northwest at the 19-yard line. It was a great it was a great throw, first of all, by Herbal. Placed it right over the shoulder of Eubanks. He caught it and then was popped immediately, and the ball fell out. That happened to him against McKinney.
Yeah, and that's a situation that is tough to do because you're so vulnerable after making an over-the-shoulder catch, and he was popped from his blind side right into the stomach area. And that's one where you'd like to say, hey, you got to do a better job on that, but at the same time, that's tough to do just because of where it hits him, or rather where he's hit.
So Northwest will start at their own 19-yard line now with 1st down and 10, 2:33 left to go here in the first quarter, 6-0 Northwest. This is going to be the McAngus rolling out left side, has a man, and it's incomplete, and then caught. A great catch by Blake Collier on the near side, jumped over Brandon Dunn and made the catch. I thought for a moment there's no way he could make it, and I thought he was actually going to cause interference on the play, jumping over the back of Dunn, but he jumped over and made the catch.
Yeah, borderline interference. The only reason they're not going to get it is because he was going for the ball that basically rolled on the back of Burns, and because it never hit the ground, it's a catch for Collier.
3 receivers out right side, 1 to the left. Drew Ashley stands in the backfield along with Will McAngus, the quarterback. Actually standing to the left of McAngus. He's going to hand off to him, running left tackle. Big hole 50, 45-40, look out, 35-30, 25-20, 15-10-5. You can kiss Drew Ashley goodbye, and it is a 13-point lead for Justin Northwest with 2:06 left to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, it's a 55-yard run there after a big pass play. Now all of a sudden they're down 14-0. And that's got to be distressing.
Well, 12-0 actually on the scoreboard. They'll probably go for 2 here.
Now, I wouldn't if I was a coach.
It's a little early to be doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, they're kicking teams on the field. Just a smart call. No need to go for 2 here so early.
And they will send McMullen back for the extra point at the 10-yard line. He boots it high this time. Well, no, not high. This is a very low kick, and it is no good. So once again, no extra point after the touchdown. 12-0. Northwest Texans lead this one with 2:06 left to go in the first. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. 2:06 left to go in the first quarter. The Northwest Texans have just taken a 12-0 lead. They missed the 2 extra points. Their first touchdown was a 1-yard touchdown by Drew Ashley. This one not 1 yard. It was 55, and Ashley is roaring so far tonight. Looked like the McKinney North Bulldogs had held him in check early on in their first couple possessions, but he really exploded on the left side that time.
Yeah, 5,500% longer than his first touchdown run.
The Beef O'Brady's kickoff is about to be underway, and McMullen will boot this one deep, as they found out that Barrett was there earlier, and this one's going to go out of bounds, and that'll be a flag. So McKinney North will get the ball here with pretty good field position.
Don't know if that's what Cameron Eubanks intentionally did, was let it roll out of bounds, because it took a funny hop that he reacted to, but that's just smart to let it do that, just because now they either have to re-kick or you take it up at the 35-yard line. Looks like they're going to make him re-kick. And then this is the situation now that they're moved back where it's a possibility of being that pooch kick, which then will give you really good field position because right now Northwest doesn't want to let them return it.
Don't forget to stay tuned to our True Image Productions Player of the Game later on after tonight's contest. 12-0 our score right now. We'll pass along some scores later on as we get going through the night. Right now, I know that Sherman was down 13-0 over at the Voodoo Palace in Wichita Falls.
Well, those teams sure seem to play in Wichita a lot.
Well, Wichita Falls has 2 teams in that district over there.
It seems like they've played there the last 6 weeks or so.
That's the bad thing when you get in that district and you have to drive all that way over west. Here's the second kick, the second Beef O'Brady's kick, and guess what? Another flag.
Good, smart play by Eubanks. He knew that was going out right away.
You know who's happy about all these penalties is Beef O'Brady's. Larry Lindsay's over there loving this kind of thing. They'll make them kick all night and get all these Beef O'Brady's kicks.
Yeah, and then afterwards we'll head out to Beef O'Brady's just because it's ingrained in our mind for the kickoff. Hey, I'd like a kickoff, please. How to do that?
I'll take a kickoff, please.
Actually, that's what McKinney North's saying to Northwest here.
That's right.
Well, now they're kicking on the 30.
Cameron Eubanks is back deep along with Cameron Buford. They're now standing at their own 15-yard line. Should get great possession here.
And if they pooch it, Chase Barrett's standing on the 40. And right now, seeing as how they've kicked it out of bounds, a pooch might not be a bad deal here, even though they're going to give up some field position because of the 2 out of bounds.
On the field is Zach Palmer for Northwest. He is actually on the kickoff team. We haven't seen him yet on the offensive side of the football. He is wearing a big cast on his left arm, so that's probably the reason he can't make those grabs anymore, but he is playing that outgun position on the far right side.
Yeah, speaking as a former receiver, it's tough making a catch with the cast on one hand. Not impossible.
Well, our third Beef O'Brady's kickoff is now in the air, and it's a pretty high kick, going to be taken by Cameron Eubanks inbounds, runs up the right hash. He has a little seam, cuts it back right side, and tackled at the 42-yard line. Great field position starting out for the McKinney North Bulldogs. It's actually their best of the night as they start out at the 42.
Yeah, again, this is basically what would happen had they pooch kick it, although a hair better. If they'd have pooched, usually it's taken around the 35 to 40. This is at the 43, so McKinney North down 12-0 has a good opportunity to do something on this drive. This is, one of the better field positions to usually start with after a kickoff.
Little wind on the field tonight. Not much happening as far as when you have to change sides of the field. There's not a big wind either way. It's not a factor in the game. Barrett moves to the left side. He gets the handoff, running right guard. Cuts it in, cuts it out, cuts it back outside to the 50, and down at the 48-yard line, a yard short of the first down, or he might even be very, very close to that. And I think, he's going to be about a half a yard short. That'll bring up second down and about a half yard.
Yeah, this is only the second drive for Northwest, McKinney North. And if you look at it, just the first down differential, Northwest has already accumulated 7 first down on offense, whereas North has yet to get one.
Second down and 1. Herbal wants to pass, looking over the far side. Has a man. Is caught by Eubanks. This time he makes a move to the inside and is ridden out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. So with 1:03 left to go in the first quarter, Northwest Texans on top, 12-0. But McKinney North on the move there on the first down play from Herbal to Eubanks.
Yeah, just a simple pass out in the flat for Eubanks, running a simple 5-yard out. But what that does is it shows that they're not afraid to go back to Eubanks, and it also gets them the first down. A good, smart play there. Like that.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far left, and they're going to hand off. This is going to be Barrett once again, and 5-yard Barrett gets out close to another first down as he crosses the 35-yard line, and that's where they're going to mark it, so he's about 2 yards short of another one.
Well, just remember we didn't get the secondary starters for Northwest thanks to the Eubanks fumble, so let's get it in here. The cornerbacks are Ricky Broxton, a sophomore, and Zach Palmer, a junior. The safeties, Bryant Maxwell, the junior, and Blake Collier, a senior.
Clock rolling at 35 seconds now here in the first quarter. 2 receivers out wide right. Handoff Barrett once again. 30, 25, crosses the 23-yard line down to the 21 and move the sticks once again for Chase Barrett.
A good play there, solid play that started out at the 35, and now they're knocking on the red zone door at the 21. Good solid gain there of 14, and you got to like that when you're running back out of that position is getting the yardage for the first down and then some.
Timeout on the play. We'll take one, too. 19 seconds left to go in the first. 12-0 Texans. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. That was the end of the first quarter. We changed sides of the field now. The McKinney North Bulldogs now moving right to left on the radio dial. They're knocking on the door at the 21-yard line. It'll be first down and 10. Herbal in shotgun formation. Looks over to Don Drake, the offensive coordinator. Now wants the snap. Hands off. Barrett running out right side. Has a seam. Has the 15 and down at the 12-yard line. Close to another first down. They're really trying to establish the run on this series.
Well, that's something they need to do. The offense flows through Chase Barrett. When he's not involved or he's not working, the offense struggles. That's been my observation this year. And when he works well, the offense works well. So right now you got to like what you see. He's carried the ball 5 times and got 40 yards on those carries. And it's just been very effective early here in the second.
Boblets to the left, Eubanks slot left. This is a high snap, handoff Barrett once again, right tackle. Rams his way down past the 10 for another first down. He really took a pop, and I'm not so sure he didn't deliver the pop there. And they're going to mark him down at the 8-yard line. It'll be another 4-yard gain, but more importantly, it moves the sticks. It'll be first down and goal from the 8.
Well, that's the 3rd first down on this drive. Northwest still has the advantage here, but because of those 2 missed extra points, a touchdown here with the extra point, and they're only down 5, and it looks really good compared to just how dominant that Northwest was in that first quarter.
Shotgun formation. This is going to be a handoff. Barrett running left tackle this time, barreling his way inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line.
I really like what I see when Barrett carries the ball. He's not afraid to tuck his shoulder. And when you consider just how small a back he is compared to, he's only about 5'5", 5'6", and weighs about $120. But he's not afraid to lower his shoulder, and he'll take a hit if it gets more yards than it did there.
10:44 and rolling here in the second quarter, 12-0. Northwest on top. McKinney North trying to punch it in here. Handoff Barrett, and he's going to be very close. And he's going to be marked down at the 2-yard line. A big, huge play coming up. 3rd down and goal from the 2.
Well, that's now 8 carries, 50 yards for Barrett, who's a junior. And your 3rd and 2 here, your choices are pretty limited just because of the lack of field position.
3rd down and 2. 10:09, 10:08 on the clock, second quarter. Barrett moves to the left side. He gets the handoff, running right side. He is hit and dropped at the 1-yard line. Barrett got the handoff. It was kind of a counter trap play. Moved it back to the right side and was really met and driven down on his back right at the 1-yard line. 9:50 to go here in the second quarter.
Yeah, now this is a decision. What do you do here? Still early in the game, but you're also at the 1-yard line.
You basically have an extra point for a field goal, but they're going to go for it. 4th down. 4th and goal from the 2-yard line. This is going to be a handoff. Barrett running upside, and it is close. No signal yet, and it is touchdown time in Texas. I believe that was actually Kevin Starks. We'll have to check. No, it was Barrett. Barrett was the man who made the touchdown there. Now, McKinney North is lined up in the swinging gate. I'm sure they're going to go for 1 here, and they do. Blake Boblets will drop back in his normal position, and they'll try the extra point here. That was a huge, huge 4th and goal from the 2, and Barrett stuck it in. Here's the extra point by Boblets. It is true. 12-7. Northwest leads McKinney North here. 9:31 left to go in the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms as we approach the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. Brandon.
Well, if you looked at the 12-0 score at the end of the first, you might get a little worried, but just a word of advice, don't be, because North has only scored 23 points in the first quarter this year, is where they've scored 71 in the second, and now they have that 7-point advantage here in the second quarter, and they only trail the game now 12-5, but don't expect anything less coming up here. I would expect McKinney North's not done on the offensive end.
12-7 our score here with 9:31 left to go here in the second quarter. And the Beef O'Brady's kickoff is up in the air. It's going to be a high kick taken at the 4-yard line by the deep man for Texans. He has a wide open lane, cross 30, 35, 40, 40. He's across the 50, cuts it back inside, is drugged down really hard, but the Northwest Texans are going to be in great field position here already in McKinney North territory.
Yeah, the reason why Cameron Eubanks has to have contain on this left side, and for whatever reason he tried to cut it up onto a blocker, and the Northwest return team saw that, set up a block there. The returner cut it along the sideline, and once you lose contain, there's nobody else there until you get somebody to play catch-up and hope they have better speed than return, and that happened there. But now Northwest taking over inside the 45.
Well, the ball will be actually spotted at the 44-yard line at the McKinney North 44. This is going to be McGangus throwing out left side, has a man, is caught and dropped. Bo Burns on coverage was right there. The pass was actually probably a good thing for North, because it was a good thing that it was incomplete, because it was 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Northwest it would have been good for.
Right.
McKinney North would have loved to have that 3-yard loss, and they're going to need better play in this rest of the game from Bo Burns, who's been beat twice now, but he read that screen pass perfectly.
9 minutes, 11 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Second down and 10 for Northwest. 2 receivers to the far left side. It's going to be a handoff. Ashley running left tackle, cuts it inside, and he was buried for a moment and somehow surged forward for about 4 yards. They're going to mark the ball at the 40-yard line. And how in the world he picked up 4 yards on that when he was stuffed behind the line of scrimmage?
Well, it could have been more if it wasn't for Casey Clapp. Normally when you see a running back run to the left side, you run to the left side as quickly as possible. But Clapp saw that there was a cutback lane available for Ashley, and so he didn't quite do it right away. And then when Ashley cut back, there was Casey Clapp to make the tackle.
2 receivers to either side. 8:36 left to go in the second quarter. 12-7 Northwest on top. Man in motion, moves to the right, from right to left. And McGangus rolls back, rolling out to the left side. Now he's going to tuck it, and he is buried behind the line of scrimmage. It is a sack for McKinney North. Down on the bottom of the pile for McKinney North was Zach Plummer. The defensive end comes in, makes the stop.
Also in was Casey Clapp, who initially made the first contact, held him up, and then Zach came in to help finish him off. But just a good defensive stand there, or rather on that play. And now it brings up a 4th and long situation with the ball near the 50. You'd figure this have to be a punt.
Yeah, you would think so, and it is going to be, as they're going to send their punter back at his own 41-yard line. And the punter tonight, Preston Merritt, the big, tall punter, 6'4". It goes over his head. He's going to try to recover. It does. Gets off the punt somehow. It's not going to be very good. Going to land at the 30. I'm just amazed that he had the ability to get that punt off. There were 3 guys right in his face. It was a high snap, and we just said that Merritt is 6'4". That snap was about 6'8".
Yeah, that was only a 15-yard punt there, so McKinney North getting the sack and then getting the ability to only give up a 15-yard punt, and now they're really, while they could have been inside the 20 even, they're now starting just outside the 30 at the 32, so they're in good shape compared to what they could have been.
7:37 as McKinney North takes over possession at their own 32. First down and 10. They will send 2 receivers out far right, 1 to the near side, moving right to left. This is going to be a handoff. No, he's going to fake the hand. Herbal's going to throw it downfield. Has a man, David Douglas, and it's overthrown at the 35-yard line. He just threw that one about 3 yards too far.
Yeah, if that's Eubanks, who has that extra pep in his step, he might be able to get underneath that one, but led him just too much. But the positive news is, Monty, that the Herbal comes in with a 51% completion percentage. That's only his first incompleted of the night on 4 attempts, so otherwise he's doing fairly effectively tonight.
Ayton Williams out far right, Maxwell in the slot, and David Douglas comes near side. Chase Barrett stands to the left of Herbal. Herbal's going to roll out right. This is the option play, and he's going to keep it and be buried behind the line of scrimmage. Actually, they'll probably get him at the 32-yard line. Yeah, it's going to be a loss of 1. So 7:17 left to go here in the second quarter. 12-7, Northwest on top. And Northwest has really looked good so far in this football game.
Yeah, and that play was really made on the defensive end by Lambert Phillips Jr., who basically stood in between Herbal and Barrett, not allowing Herbal to pitch it outright or keep it outright, and that allowed the combo of Billy Smith and Marcus Muniz to go over the back of Herbal.
Big third down play here. Herbal's going to drop back 3 steps, wants to throw the home run ball down the middle. Wide open is David Douglas, 25-20, 15-10, and caught at the 5-yard line. Oh, what a throw that was, and how in the world did David Douglas get that wide open?
Yeah, they was playing a zone coverage, and the safety didn't get over in time to make the play, and then there was a lot of people running out behind him trying to get there. And that's about a 62-yard pass play, Monty. Actually make it 64.
The ball will be spotted right at the 5. Well, they're going to say 4 on the scoreboard, but it looks like 5 from up here, and now they do get over the 4-yard line. This is going to be 2 men in the backfield. Still shotgun formation for Herbal. Barrett moves to the left. They're going to do the option play again. Herbal tucks it, and it's touchdown time in Texas. 6:25 left to go in the second quarter, and Eric Herbal just scrambles over the left side for the touchdown.
And so now all of a sudden, despite the fact of Northwest really outplaying North in that first quarter, they get a defensive stand here twice in the second. The offense comes through with a home run ball. Not officially a home run ball, I suppose. He didn't score the touchdown, but it really set up that touchdown. And right now, McKinney North has a 1-point lead, PAT pending.
13-12 right now. Boblett's back for the extra point. The snap is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 14-12, 6:25 left to go in the second quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms as we approach the Beef O'Brady's kickoff here. McKinney North just scored on a 4-yard touchdown by Eric Herbal. It was a 4-play, 68-yard drive. Took a minute 12 off the clock. McKinney North now leads 14-12.
All of a sudden, the momentum shifted over to the north sideline. It looks like those PATs might have breathed a little momentum in. McKinney getting a couple of big plays, offense and defense, and they've got square hold of it now.
This is it's kind of an onside, but it's a pooch kick. It's going to land and hit the ground. An up man picks it up for Northwest, and he's going to be buried at about the 33-yard line. He's going to go down. What kind of a kick was that, Brandon?
Well, what that's designed to do is it's not officially a pooch kick, but there's a big hole in the middle of the return team. Now, what it's designed to do is it's a high kick that's supposed to hit turf, and once it hits turf, it can bounce anywhere. And then, if it's picked up, your coverage team is supposed to be down there, and if they can hit hard enough, especially if it's usually an up back who's not used to having the ball and being hit, it can lead to a turnover, and that's what they're trying to do there. Worst case scenario, they set up at the 35.
McKinney North has their first lead of the night, and now give it back to Justin Northwest, moving left to right. Handoff, Drew Ashley running right side, has a big open lane, 35-40, trying to find the corner, does, 50, 45, and out of bounds at the 41-yard line. Flag down at the end of the play. We'll have to check and see what that is, but that's a big gainer for Drew Ashley once again.
Yeah, if it stands, it'll be a 26-yarder. Not sure what the penalty is this time around because it came at the 40-yard line where the play ended. They're going to get holding downfield on Northwest, so it depends on just how far downfield. Right now, at a 26-yard run, it'd have to be within that 16 yards to prevent it from being a first down.
Well, the flag came in really late and at the end of the play, and right now the official is going to mark the ball just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. So officially, it's a 15-yard gain. With 6:08 left to go here in the second quarter, McKinney North on top, 14-12.
Yeah, that was good blocking set up on the right side there, especially downfield, but apparently somebody got a hold in just a bit too prematurely.
First down and 10 for Justin Northwest. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers to either side. Ashley in the backfield. McGangus is going to drop 2 steps back, wants to throw the home run ball down the right side, has Collier, and it is incomplete. Actually, that was Martin Holmes on the coverage, the strong safety, and he had great coverage over there on Collier and just kind of knocked it away at the last second.
Yeah, the offensive coordinator for Northwest was screaming down there trying to get a pass interference call, and I got to think that he's also has a case. Larry Meek just screaming for about 50 yards because he was on the opposite end. Right now, the McKinney North cornerbacks and rather their secondary in general have to look back at the ball to prevent that kind of call because that could have easily been a pass interference.
Second down and 10. As you're right, Holmes never even looked back at the ball, just kind of threw his arms up in the air. 6:01 left to go, second quarter. This is kind of the delayed handoff to Ashley, who has the first down. Is going to. Well, I thought for a moment it was going to be down at the 40-yard line, but he somehow fights all the way another 5 yards and drags 6, 7, 8 North Bulldogs with him down to the 35.
Well, that 15-yard carry now puts him at 113 on the night for 11 carries, so he's averaging over 10 yards. What really made that successful for Northwest was the cornerback there initially made contact for for North, but Coyle Permeter was trying to strip the ball rather than bring him down. And anytime you got a good running back like Ashley, they'll be able to turn that into extra yards.
McKinney held him to 136 yards on 27 carries 3 weeks ago. Last week, 119 yards. There's going to be a flag on this play, as I thought for a moment. No. False start against Northwest, push them back 5 yards. That'll move the ball back to the 45-yard line, or the 40-yard line, rather.
Well, this is where Northwest got hurt earlier in the game, was they had an opportunity at 1st and 10, but then they got a penalty and then imploded from there. And it looks like the penalty, judging by the reaction for Northwest, was on Kelly Davis, the way he's slapping his helmet on the sideline after coming off.
Somehow Lake Dallas did something right last week. They only held Drew Ashley to 119 yards. That's his lowest of the year. This is going to be McKangus. Fakes the hand. He's going to roll out left side, looking for the 35, has it 30, looking for the 20, 15, 10, and out of bounds at the 8-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. Yeah, it's going to actually be at the 11-yard line for McGangus, as he just had a lane on that far left side.
Yeah, 29-yard gain there, but basically you're going to have to give credit to Drew Ashley because they faked the handoff with Ashley going right. McGangus went left down the sideline, and because the defense initially keyed on the Ashley fake, there wasn't a lot of McKinney North defenders there, and McGangus found his blocks and then made some nifty moves down to the 11.
5:01 before the half, 14-12, North leads. This is going to be McGangus looking for the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown, but there's a flag down. We'll have to check it. On the coverage is Coyle Permeter. It was caught by the receiver, Bryant Maxwell.
It's going to be on McKinney North. There's going to be a pass interference call in the secondary.
And obviously that would be declined for the touchdown, and we'll see what it is. And we haven't had an official indication yet.
Yeah, the referee just said it's pass interference.
Here comes the horn.
Nice save there, Monty. Yeah, that was just basically a play where the safety came in and made contact with Maxwell without trying to do anything specifically to keep him from catching the ball. So an 11-yard touchdown reception there for Maxwell. That's his third catch on the night for 41 yards, but also a touchdown that for the time being at least puts the Texans back up on top, extra point pending.
Well, they are going to go for 2 here, as Ashley will be in shotgun, or actually McGangus is hit as he throws. The ball was tipped. They're going to say it's incomplete. It was a nice play up the middle as McGangus was pressured and it just fired it right into someone. 18-14, our new score. 4:58 left to go before half. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. 4:58 left to go here in the second quarter. Justin Northwest takes an 18-14 lead on a 5-play, 66-yard drive. Took a minute and 12 off the clock. It was an 11-yard touchdown pass from Will McAngus, not his dad, Leonard, but Will McAngus to Bryant Maxwell. Like I said, that brings our new score 18-14 here at Northwest ISD Stadium as we approach the Beef O'Brady's kickoff.
Got a thought on the 2-point conversion, but I'll get to that after this kickoff.
Here is the Beef O'Brady's kickoff, and it's going to be a high kick this time, taken by Cameron Eubanks. He muffs it for a second, picks it back up at the 6, coming up the middle, has a seam to the 20, 25, 30, and down at the 33-yard line. Brandis, tell us about your little 2-point conversion theory.
Well, in this situation, when you're in the second quarter, it's just not smart to give up points unless there's one simple reason. You have no faith in your kicking game. Let's say, for example, if you had an extra point team that only made 90% of their extra points but made 50% of their 2-point conversions, in the long run, that's more points because the 2 points, if you only get one 2-point conversion every 2 plays, it equals what you'd get if you kicked the extra point. That's the only thing I could think of is McAngus has no faith in his extra point team or just doesn't know how to use the extra point.
First down and 10, McKinney North from their own 34. Shotgun formation, and whistles blow before the play could get underway. Could that be delay of game?
Well, I don't know because the play clock still reads 25. And we're actually going to hit a false start illegal procedure.
It will be false start against McKinney North, so back it up 5 yards. Instead of starting at their own 34, they'll start at the 29.
Well, on the plus side, that's only the 4th penalty, and they've all been for the minimum of 5 yards. One of them was a half a distance to the goal pass interference call. But for the most part, they've all been minor penalties.
2 receivers near side, one to the far right. As a man goes in motion, that's Cameron Eubanks. They're going to hand off Barrett. No, Herbal's going to keep it. He tucks it, 35, and down at the 36-yard line. A nice call there as he had a nice lane and probably picked up about 6 there as it crosses to the 36-yard line.
Actually going to be 7, so give the quarterback one more. The nice thing about that is because that's such an original play, Cameron Eubanks coming in motion from the receiver, then setting up in that option of to becoming the pitch of Eric Herbal. And that's rarely something you see, the receiver being a pitch man on his side that he's originally lined up on.
2nd down and 8, 4:11 left to go here in the second quarter. 18-14 Northwest leads. Handoff Barrett, running right guard. And he's going to surge his way out to the 43-yard line. And he's going to be a couple of yards short of the first down, so it'll bring up a big 3rd down play.
Ooh, a flag came in late. Usually that's going to be a personal foul of some kind. The line judge caught something on the far side there. Barrett was going to be close, about a yard shy, maybe 2. But the penalty is going to have a big factor in this.
Well, Barrett was down at the 42-yard line. That was a gain of 6 on the play, and we'll see what the penalty is, and it's against Northwest.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, Monty.
Great news for McKinney North as they're able to control their temper. And that's going to be a huge, huge penalty with 3:58 left to go before the half. Needing to regain the lead here and have some momentum going into the half. Teddy Sappho on the sideline. We'll check down with you after this play. Tell us the atmosphere down on the sideline and what's going on with the players down there. And actually, Teddy's making his way up here. As it'll be 1st and 10 now after the penalty at the Justin Northwest 42-yard line, and Herbal wants to pass. Looking over the near side, throws a low pass for Cameron Eubanks, and it's incomplete at the 38-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10 from the 42 of Justin Northwest with 3:42 left to go here before half.
Yeah, this is going to be key for the offense here to try to keep moving the ball down as to what's going to happen in the second half, where they've actually been semi-dominant. But if they can go in with any kind of anything here at the end of the first half, that's just extra money.
2nd down and 10. Herbal hands off to Barrett, running left guard, and is met and dropped right behind the line of scrimmage. Nelson Windebank makes the stop. The linebacker, 5'8", 180-pound junior, steps up and drops Barrett for a loss. The ball will be placed at the 40-yard line now. They may surge him for actually 2 yards, so it'll be 3rd down and 8. A big play here with 3:19 left to go here in the second quarter.
And like I said, that's one of the things I love about Chase Barrett is despite his small stature, he'll bang away in that pile. And he was just churning his feet to get that extra yardage.
Shotgun formation for Herbal as always. He wants the ball, wants the snap, and he's now going to get it. He's going to drop back in 2 steps. He's under pressure, drops away from Winnebank, wants to throw out right side, and it is short and incomplete. Bring up 4th down. He had a man there wide open and couldn't get it to him. He was under pressure a little bit. He was trying to find Cameron Eubanks and just came up a little bit short.
Yeah, one of the things that Herbal needs to really work on is his pocket presence. You could see the defender coming off the blitz on that left side of the defensive formation. And Herbal had pretty much concrete feet. He had a blocker there, but didn't utilize him correctly.
So far on the year, Herbal has only been sacked 1 time.
Well, he wasn't sacked there, but if he could have used his pocket correctly, he could have thrown with his feet set.
4th down and 8, 2:53 and rolling. Or actually, the clock is stopped with 2:53 right now after the incomplete pass. Brandon Dunn stands at his own 47-yard line, and he's going to punt this one away. It's a low line drive kick. It's going to bounce at the 20. Tried to just tuck it inside the 20 there, and it's going to roll down to about the 12-yard line, and that's where Justin Northwest will take over with 2:42 left to go before the half, and they have the lead 18-14. Teddy Sappho, you were down on the sidelines a moment ago and have made your way up to the booth. Talk about what the McKinney North Bulldogs look like down there.
Well, finally, after getting some points on the board prior to that, they weren't really doing a whole lot. But now that they've been able to put some points on the board, they have to focus on try to get this defense going so they can try to stop this the Texans offense.
All right, 2:42 left to go here in the second quarter. 1st and 10 for Northwest. They're going to have to drive a long way to get a score here. Ashley's a good way to do it, and he gets to carry. Crosses the 15 out to the 20-yard line, and just like that, there's a 7-yard gain for Drew Ashley on 1st down.
Well, but the problem with that is it's because it's a running play. It's almost guaranteed to take 30 seconds off the clock before you do it again. If they hold them to 7 yards every play at this point in the juncture, they'll be fine.
Actually give him 8 out to the 20-yard line. It'll be second down and, well, I guess 2.5, call it 3. McGangus, the quarterback, in shotgun formation as always, and this time Ashley gets the handoff, running left tackle, big hole, 30, 35, 40, gets a block, 45, close to the out-of-bounds marker, and goes out of bounds at the 49-yard line in McKinney North territory.
Yeah, and that's a situation where he is effective. He just broke 3 tackles right there at the line of scrimmage. I mean, that's one thing that hurt North in the loss to Hebron that we did here on K-Lake FM was the inability to tackle their running back, Derek Robinson. This time, Drew Ashley just escaped several defenders that should have been brought down, and then he goes on for a 31-yard gain.
Ball at the 49 in McKinney North territory. 1:55 left to go here in the second quarter. Justin Northwest has an 18-14 lead. Moving left to right. McKangus going to hand off to Drew Ashley again. This time running the other way to the far side. He's going to barrel his way down to the 42-yard line, and that's where he'll go down with 1:44 left to go in the second quarter. And if they are able to punch it in here, that's going to be trouble for McKinney North.
Well, they do have the ability to put up a lot of points quickly, but the thing that might damage would be psychological, but luckily it'll be at the end of the quarter for them, and then they'll have a halftime. But the thing is they tackled him inbounds on this, so we're under a minute 30.
McGangus in shotgun formation, and Ashley stands to his right. He's going to throw the home run ball, and on the fade right down to Maxwell, who makes the catch, and then the ball flies away. They're going to call it incomplete. It was a great job by Cole Permetter, who still fought for the ball even though it was in possession of Bryant Maxwell.
Well, it goes back to not looking back at the ball as it's being thrown. Coyle Permetter might have had a chance to knock it out or intercept it outright. It does stop the clock. It is going to be third down, so a big play here for the defense. But right now, those defenders have got to look back at the ball.
That was Permetter. You know, we didn't mention it. We haven't mentioned it this year. Permetter's dad was an All-American college football player. Third down and 3 from the McKinney North 42. This is going to be McGangus. He's going to hand off up the middle, big hole. That's Ashley barreling his way for a first down, but the clock is going to run here as soon as they move the sticks. They're going to mark him at the 23-yard line. So a nice run there of about 19 yards for Ashley. A timeout has been called. We'll take 1-2. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. 1:05 before half. Northwest has an 18-14 lead. First and 10. McGangus in shotgun formation is going to fake the hand to Ashley, keep it around the right side, tucks it, and he is down at the 21-yard line. A gain of maybe 1 or 2. And a nice job by James San Miguel and a couple others there. Zach Plummer comes up, makes the stop. But fortunately for McKinney North, the clock is still rolling, under a minute now at 46.
Yeah, and Zach Plummer did a good job because he held contain on McGangus there because a lot of the defense bit on the fake to Ashley, but his contain slowed up McGangus enough that he had to cut it inside, and then he's able to make the tackle. We got a timeout, McKinney?
Well, clock has stopped at 36 seconds.
I wouldn't think McKinney would call a timeout
I don't
here.
know if this is an official timeout, but now the players are being called to each side. We'll keep it right here.
Well, the thing is the play clock never started either. So I was thinking for a minute it might be the official timeout because they had set the ball, and once the ball's set, you start the play clock. But apparently McKinney called the timeout there, but they haven't taken one off the scoreboard yet. We got some confusion here.
Well, it shows that Northwest has 3 timeouts left.
Well, and that's wrong, obviously.
And McKinney has 2 left, and that's wrong, obviously, because they took one after their first play of the game.
Yeah, McKinney's already called one, and then the Texans called one just a minute ago.
So they probably just are not keeping up with the Northwest timeouts, as they should only have 1 left.
Oh, and that could be detrimental to their team if they look up and see they have 2 or even 1 left. Hey, and they don't have one, you call a timeout. Well, you would think getting the hometown discount there.
As it stands, it'll be second down and 8 with 36 seconds left to go before half. Northwest has an 18-14 lead. McKinney North desperately trying to keep them out of their end zone at the 21-yard line. McGangus rolling out right side, wants to pass in the end zone. It is Collier, and it is over his head and incomplete. Just over the head of Blake Collier. as Coyle Permetter was in position on the route and the cornerback spot. That'll bring up 3rd down and 8 with 30 seconds left to go.
Well, they got to be careful there, does Northwest, because Collier pushed off on the coverage there. He basically held the defender at arm's length holding him and then leaped up for it, and that's interference because you cannot prevent the other guy from going for the ball, which would have been the case there.
3rd down and 8. Don't forget about Drew Ashley here. 30 seconds on the clock. 2 receivers far side. This is going to be a handoff, and they're reverse back to Collier. He's got the 20. He's got the 15, one man to beat, and he fumbles right at the 2-yard line into the end zone. He may have fumbled and given McKinney North the football in the far side of the end zone. No signal yet, and I believe he recovered it. What's the call? There's a flag down at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, that's going to be a holding, so if they did recover in the end zone, it's going to be negated because there was a block downfield that basically the blocker tackled the feet of, I believe, Zach Plummer was out there, the only one holding contained. And since the referee just called holding and didn't decline it, apparently they did recover the fumble in the end zone, so Northwest will keep possession, but they will not get a first down.
That is a huge holding call for Northwest as Blake Collier was in the end zone. He actually recovered his own fumble. Would have been a touchdown, but bring that one back. They're going to spot the ball right now at the 19-yard line. There's 22 seconds on the clock, and now another timeout has been called for Northwest, and that'll be their final timeout, even though it shows 3 on the board.
Will it? Well, I mean, we don't know who that last timeout was on, so I don't know. Well, right, but I mean the one prior to this one, because that was where the confusion was. So they could have one, they could have none. It just depends, because I thought the referee initially motioned toward McKinney, but then we haven't seen the scoreboard go with that. And, there was confusion surrounding that anyway because McKinney wouldn't have wanted to call a timeout there because that would have run the clock more. So we got some confusion up here. Right now on the field, it's going to be a 3rd and 6 situation. Ball placed at the 19. That is doable for Drew Ashley, but if he's tackled, especially if it's short of a first down in the field of play, they're going to have to hustle before time can run out.
22 seconds on the clock to go before the half. 18-14, Northwest leads. They make their way back out on the field. This is a monster of a play for the DPD defense. If they can hold them here, they probably have to go for it on 4th down because it looks like to me Leonard McGangus is not happy with Stephen McMullen and their performance on that kick unit. We'll see.
Well, he's no Big Boblets.
3rd down and 6, 22 seconds left to go before half. This is the quarterback, McGangus, wants to throw, and he is sacked in the backfield. A big, huge play by Micah Moore and company back at the 21-yard line. Clock is rolling. 10, 9, no way to stop it. 7, 6, 5, and looks like that's going to be the end of the first half. And you got to be happy if you're North. You were able to have basically a goal line stand.
Well, Northwest called the timeout, so apparently they did have one left with 3 seconds left. But that sack, that's the 3rd sack now, Monty, of McGangus by the Bulldog defense here, and that's what they mean when coming up big. You can't get much bigger than that. Now, granted, they've tackled him in the backfield a couple more times, but those have been official runs, which do not go into a stat. In that situation, McGangus was looking to pass.
Now they've updated the scoreboard, and they say that the Texans have 1 timeout left, and McKinney North has 2.
Well, at this point, it doesn't matter.
How many timeouts can you have for the home team?
Well, I was upset a little bit when North had to call the timeout at the beginning of the first half, but apparently it doesn't matter. You get more than 3. Who knows? Call all the timeouts you want.
Well, it's 4th down and 7. They're going to try the Stephen McMullen field goal. It'll be a 37-yard attempt with 3 seconds left on the halftime clock. 18-14, Northwest in the lead. McMullen's kick is up in the air. It's plenty long enough, and it is good. So what I thought would be an 18-14 halftime lead is now 21-14. Northwest on top. We'll take a quick timeout and be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Well, Brandon Helms and Teddy Saffo, we're going to take a little quick timeout because I have a special guest here. Joined in the booth by former Bulldog running back J.R. Housey. And J.R., welcome to Northwest ISD Texan Stadium. What are you doing these days? Talk about, is it southeastern Oklahoma?
Yes, sir.
Talk about that. What's I guess you're playing football a little bit up there.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm redshirted right now, and, I didn't like the idea of it at first, but, I'm taking it as a maturing year to learn all the plays, and, next year they're going to be looking for me to play. And so I'm real excited about that.
What's the biggest difference you see in playing at McKinney North and playing college football?
They hit a lot harder, and the game's faster. The skill-wise, the speed just stepped up tremendously. Like, it's a lot of 4.2s and 4.3s. It's like all over the field, and even 240-pound linebackers just as fast as the skilled people.
Have they talked to you at all about what position you might be playing up there next year, what they look for you to do, or are we going to have any of those like big kickoff returns like you did against R.L. Turner or anything like that?
Yes, sir. They told me when I first came in, they told me that they wanted me to play slot, but now strictly running back and kickoff return. So.
And they send their backs out of the backfield to do any catching, kind of like you did here?
Yes, sir. Well, pretty much it's like it's just like our offense from last year, so I fit in real good. I just got to get down to cadence and things like that, and I'll be fine.
Well, talk about this McKinney North team. It looks like you're a year late because they're able to put some things together here. Do you wish you had Kenny Duck's defensive coordinatorship last year? Do you wish that they had this defense for you guys last year?
Yeah, the defense, like we always had the talent in spots, and, us being a young team, we just had to put it together. And, most, programs, they build off of each year, and I think this is just the year where they finally put it all together because we had the talent last year. See, a couple of games we were close, just couldn't pull it through at the end. So I'm still, I'm real proud of my team from last year. It's just, we had problems in spots where we didn't, mature fast enough, until the end of the season.
Last year. You were talking about those close games. Mesquite Poteet, a 3-point loss, 26-23. Remember that heartbreaker over to R.L. Turner. You can't forget about that one. There were some others over there, that came down to the wire, at Frisco, things like that. But what about this team? You were talking about their offense. We were talking off the air a moment ago. Do you see some changes in last year to this year?
Yeah, last year we were pretty much, a running team. We like to run the ball. But this year they're explosive. They're putting the ball in the air a lot more, and they got a lot more size on the offensive line, so it's giving Eric a lot more time to throw the ball. Because last year we had injuries on the O line, so Leonard had to scramble a lot.
What about the maturity of Eric Herbal? What are you seeing from him? Do you see him a lot different from last year?
Man, he's always when he was a freshman, I watched him play. I always knew he was gonna be good. He hasn't. He's always been this mature to me. He doesn't talk much. And I think I had him in one of my computer classes. It was a class I needed to graduate. And I had him in there, and I tried to talk to him. He'll never talk, but he'll be ready to play on game day.
Well, JR, we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully we'll get some box scores and watch that. I live up there in that area, in Sherman-Denison area, and I'll make the drive to Durant on Saturday afternoons. Maybe I come up there and see you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
No problem.
That was J.R. Housey. We also have another former McKinney North Bulldog, one of the original Bulldogs, Colin Beto. Welcome to the halftime show, Colin.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Tell us what you're doing now.
Right now I'm playing at Missouri Southern State University in Joplin, Missouri, and things are going decent for us right now. So,
well, what's your main positions on the field up there?
My main positions, I'm still playing slot receiver, and on special teams, I don't really return kicks. I actually block on kickoff return, and I try to block kicks on punt return, and I try to do everything I can. So,
what about you? What's the difference in playing high school ball and going to that college level? If you had to tell one of these kids on the field tonight, what would you tell them in order to prepare?
Just like JR said, the speed is a big factor, but mainly for me is the thinking. When you get to college, a lot more time is spent watching film and really studying the defenses, and really not necessarily having to be the fastest kid on the field, but be the smartest, to find those open areas as a receiver to get open.
You're talking about studying defenses. Do you have time to study anything else? What are you studying up there?
I'm actually undecided right now, but I'm taking a lot of business classes, so school's going pretty good for me.
Now, your mom's running or has started this McKinneysports.net. one of our main sponsors. Are you able to keep up with the Lions and the Bulldogs? Update them, online. Are you able to look up that kind of stuff?
Yeah, actually I am. I'm very fortunate. My mom tells me to check it out all the time, so I look it up. And I'm always checking them out all the time to see how they're doing. I'm glad they're doing well this year, making history, so to speak.
Yeah, and they really will if they are able to come back here. They're down by a touchdown at half. If they're able to come back, they will make history tonight. They've never won. McKinney North has never won more than 5 games in a season. This would be their 6th if they win tonight. Did you have a chance to go down and talk to any of the kids before the game?
Not really. I really didn't want to talk to them before the game just because of the distraction factor. If Coach Pratt would have wanted me to, I would have been more than happy to go down there and talk to him. But right now I'm just being a spectator and trying to keep my head out of the way. But after the game, hopefully I can talk to him and congratulate him. So we'll see what happens.
What about Coach Pratt? Is he the same guy that was your coach years ago?
I think so. But while I came in, he was a first-year head coach, and I think he's learned a lot, and I think he's matured as a head coach. And I don't know if anybody knows this, but my head coach at college passed away recently in the middle of the season. So for him to call me, take some time out of his day and talk to me about, talk me through things, it still shows that he really cares about the players, which is the most important thing.
He was. I had a chance to talk to Coach Pratt down on the field earlier, and he was talking about you guys, and he said, he mentioned JR, and he said JR is one of the most special people in his life, and that just, that it means a lot that a head coach would think, and say stuff like that about you guys. It just means a lot. Anyway, we have a 21-14 halftime score. Justin Northwest in the lead here. We want to thank Colin Beto and J.R. Housey for stopping by. We'll take a quick timeout and be back with some halftime stats and wrap it up the highlights as well with Teddy Saffo. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.
Must have ran about a mile there trying to find Coach Pratt. Good job, Teddy.
It's a good thing old Teddy Saffo runs about a 10 flat in the 100. He needed every bit of it there. Here come the McKinney North Bulldogs out on the field. And, Coach Pratt said it. If these kids are going to want to be playoff team, they're going to have to come out with playoff intensity in this second half. This is by far the biggest game that McKinney North has ever had in their school history. They're going to have to come out here and overcome this deficit of a touchdown and somehow take the lead. They're going to get the football first, and the best thing that could happen for this McKinney North Bulldog team is let Chase Barrett carry you all the way down and stick this ball in the end zone.
Yeah, well, he's the guy who your offense runs through, so he has the ability to do that kind of thing. And this would be a good situation for just the offense to give Barrett the ball. He has 61 yards on the night, which is a good total, but on 12 carries. But he's averaging 5 times he touches the ball, so on 3 downs, generally you would think that might be enough to get it done.
Teddy Saffo down on the sidelines. You talked to Coach Pratt a little bit about the intensity of the club. They just ran through. Did you see any of that intensity? Are they coming back out with more intensity than what you saw before?
I definitely think Coach Pratt's got this team fired up during the half. They have a little bit more of a swagger to them. As they walked out of the tunnel, they realized that they do need this game because chances are if they do win this game, they can possibly get into the playoffs tonight.
Well, I think if they win this game, they're basically in. As long as they can take care of business in Week 8 and Week 9. But this is a key game. They really need to win this game to eliminate all of those factors.
Well, 4-1 with 2 games left and having the tiebreaker advantage over the 2 teams below you, that would be pretty beneficial. 3 teams below you, actually.
Here's the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's a high kick going to be taken at the goal line by Cameron Eubanks. Makes his way out to the 5, 10, and crosses the 15. Looking for the near side, 25-30. 35-40, cuts it inside 45. One man to beat, and he goes down at the 50-yard line. The ball's on the turf, but it was after he was already down. A 50-yard return by Cameron Eubanks to open the second half, and that's the way to start it.
Well, technically 52. He was 2 yards deep in the end zone, so they take it from there. And what had happened was he was in the end zone, and whenever I see a returner take it out of the end zone, I initially cringe, but boy, what a great blocking job up front once he hit the 15. Everybody was spoken for, and there was a huge lane to the left side, and Eubanks with speed got there quickly.
First down and 10 at the 50-yard line. McKinney North has the ball going right to left. 11:45 on the clock, 21-14. Justin Northwest on top. Handoff. This is going to be Chase Barrett, who has about 5 yards, or 4 yards rather, and going to be knocked down at the 46-yard line. So that'll bring up second down and about 6. With 11:32 and rolling here in the third quarter.
Well, that'll get the job done. You don't need him to get a whole lot right now. You just need him to get positive yardage of usually 3 or more will get it done, and you got 4 there. Ideally, you'd like him to get more, sure, but this is a situation where that's a good yardage total on 1st and 10.
Remember, McKinney North outscores their opponent 93-48 in the second half. That's where we're at right now. Shotgun formation. Herbal standing at the 50. Handoff Barrett running right tackle. Big hole far side 40. Cuts it up 35-30, and he is going to be wrestled down at the 29-yard line. Move the sticks, Chase Barrett.
That's what he does best. That's why if you get 4 yards on 1st down, you're almost guaranteed to see it come to him on a 2nd down situation, just because that's a running down for Chase Barrett, who always seems to move the ball forward. He rarely gets dropped for a loss, and he just has the ability to turn those legs. A nice 16.5-yard gain there.
Give all the credit in the world to Colby Bryant, Daniel Holt, and Ryan Burke on that right offensive line. Really created a huge hole for Chase Barrett to run through. Shotgun formation, and a man from McKinney North jumps off sides, and that'll be Brett Davis. He moved a little bit early. Actually, was I don't think he was going to be pass blocking. Do you?
No, because he's pretty much hit the defensive end in the mouth there, and that was a situation which it was a 2 count or maybe even greater, and Herbal threw down the hard hut, and the linemen, they get so wound up, jumped immediately.
Ball at the 34-yard line now. It's going to be a handoff. Once again, Chase Barrett tripped up at the line of scrimmage, falls forward for a couple out at the 33-yard line, 32 rather. Barrett was just tripped up at the line of scrimmage and was able to fall forward. 21-14 Northwest on top of McKinney North. 10-13 and rolling here in the 3rd quarter.
Cameron Vester came through from his defensive tackle spot. They have a nose tackle and 2 defensive tackles. He was playing on the left side there, got Barrett by the feet. But still, Barrett was able to jump forward for a yard.
Well, whistles blow here with 9:58 left to go in the 3rd quarter. We'll sort these out.
A legal procedure false start on McKinney North. So just like that, they're now facing a 2nd and 19.
9:58 left to go, 3rd quarter. Now the clock starts. 21-14 Northwest on top. McKinney North moving right to left. Herbal standing in shotgun formation. He has Blake Boblet split out wide left. He's looking that way. Fires it, and he was trying to hit Eubanks. It's incomplete, and it hits about, well, the ball hit about where Eubanks' feet was, but it was about a couple yards out in front of him, too. It'll be 2nd down and 19.
I'm not sure who that was to, because that looked like that had the aim for Eubanks there, but was halfway between Eubanks and Boblitz running a fly on the left side. Just judging by where the ball fell, you would think Eubanks, but that was not a very accurate pass.
Boblet split out wide left. Eubanks in the slot on the left side. Cameron Buford, that's actually Ayton Williams split out wide right. Ryan Selby Carney, the tight end. And Herbal's dropping back, and he's under pressure now. He's going to have to run. He has the 35, has the 30, 25, takes a hit and goes down at the 22-yard line. Eric Herbal just scrambles. It makes a lot of yardage to gain some ground, and that'll set up a 3rd down and actually a 4th down and pretty short now. That might actually get him in Blake Boblett's field goal territory there.
Well, basically, once you cross the 25, and even on a decent shot at if you cross the 30, you're in Boblitz's range. But this situation now where they possibly could think about going for it, they needed 19, but Herbal got him 18.
Well, it's 4th down and 1, maybe 1.5. They're going to go for it here. 9:03 on the clock, 3rd quarter. Chase Barrett goes in motion. They're going to hand off to him. He's got the 1st down and more at the 18-yard line. Chase Barrett gets the handoff as he was moving behind Eric Herbal, kind of sidestepping a little bit. Herbal got the snap and handed off to him, and Barrett ran a direct route right over the right guard, escaped from a tackler, and got the 1st down to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, that's just beautiful running there. They know what they needed. It was a run designed just to get a short yardage situation.
Goes in motion again. Herbal's going to pass this time. Drops back 2 steps. Throws it out. It is caught by Cameron Eubanks at the 7 and goes down there. So Herbal has been, I tell you what, that one, he just threw a rope.
Yeah, Eubanks has been so far the favorite receiver of Herbal, but the defender covering Eubanks fell down, and Eubanks did exactly what you're taught, catch the ball, run upfield, But had he even cut left or right, that would have been a touchdown because the defender had fallen, but he ran right into the fallen defender.
Aiden Williams on the right side. Somebody moves up front, and I think that was Brett Davis again.
They shoot themselves in the foot. So far that hasn't hurt, but when you're facing a 1st and goal at the 7.5, and now you're facing a 1st and goal in between the 12 and 13-yard lines, you're making things difficult because this is where defense is, number one, naturally buried down because they're in a 1st and goal situation, and 2, you're shortening yourself based on the field position.
Down by 7 here is McKinney North, 21-14, 8:16 on the clock. 1st and goal from the 12.
By the way, that's the 3rd penalty on this drive already.
They're going to send Eubanks in motion. Hand off to him on the reverse. He is in jail. He cuts it inside, gets away, and he's not going to get away from the rest of the 5 Northwest Texans that are there. And he's going to take a pretty big loss all the way back to the 20-yard line, an 8-yard loss on the play.
Yeah, that one hurts because now you're facing a 2nd and goal at the 20. And that just even gets naturally more hard, but you got to give credit to the cornerback on Northwest on the outside there. He made his contain perfectly, and then once he got, or rather Eubanks got away from him, the rest of the defense was there to converge.
One thing that Herbal hasn't done is take a look to the right side to Aiden Williams on this drive. 2nd down and go from the 20. He's looking left side again. That's Cameron Eubanks, and he is held. There is one. I thought for a moment you've got to throw a flag on that play. It was at the 3-yard line. Eubanks was about to make the catch. His jersey was grabbed and he was thrown down.
Well, I don't know if it was his jersey because it was an underthrown pass. What I saw was the hand coming across and the arm coming across the helmet. And once you do, especially if you get in the head area, they're not going to allow that to happen. And so what they did is they're going to get a pass interference. That bails out McKinney North because now it's an automatic 1st down. It doesn't matter the yardage at this point. They really needed a 1st down.
What's crazy about that play is the line judge, Leroy Jones, was right there in front of Eubanks, and he made no call whatsoever. It was the back judge, Jeff Brixey, who from a lot further away made the call.
That's just inexplicable because it happened right in front of him. We saw it up here, and he had just about the same angle, but by far closer.
He was about 4 yards away from the play and didn't see it. Thank goodness for the back judge who looked over there and saw the flag, or saw the infraction and threw the flag. It'll be 1st down now at the 10-yard line.
That's a 10-yard penalty.
And Herbal this time is going to run the option, pitches it out to Barrett, has the 10, has the 5, and it is touchdown time in Fort Worth, Texas. The probable tying touchdown for McKinney North is run in by Chase Barrett from 10 yards out.
A couple of things that puts him at 95 yards for the night. That's 3 yards shy of becoming a 1,000-yard rushing season for Chase Barrett, which is no stranger to McKinney offense in years past. That's also his 2nd touchdown on the night for Barrett. And like I said, and I'll say it again, and I've said it before, this offense runs through Chase Barrett. When he's working, the offense works.
Blake Boblitz is on for the PAT, trying to tie this game up. It is up, and it is high enough, and it is right down the middle. And we have a 21-21 ball game with 7:20 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Well, some spooky things going on here in Fort Worth, Texas, 21-21. And it's almost Halloween time. Speaking of spooky, we've got another week to go. We're teeing up.
A week and a half.
Teeing it up for the Beef O'Brady's kickoff here, 21-21 after the 10-yard touchdown by Chase Barrett. It was an 8-play, 50-yard drive. Took 4 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock, and what a drive that was.
And speaking of almost Halloween.
Well, there's going to be an offsides against McKinney North there as a Bulldog went across the line. I believe that was Justin Janow. They tried the quail onside, and they all went up to the ball to fake it. And Janow, I believe it was Janow, and I apologize if it wasn't, but he stepped over the line, couldn't regain his balance, and that'll be a penalty.
Well, they do that before every kickoff. Sometimes they'll take it, but a lot of times they'll just back off. It's to try to catch the return team off guard. And that really hurt him there.
We'll talk down to Teddy Saffo after this McKinney North Beef O'Brady kickoff.
Speaking of a week and a half to Halloween, I saw a commercial for Christmas already, Monty.
It's earlier every year, doesn't it? Here is the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's a squibber, runs right down the middle. Is going to be taken by an up man, crosses the 30, 35, and pushed out of bounds at the 40-yard line. We talked to Teddy Sappho during break. Teddy had some good things to say. We'll let him tell them to you.
Thanks, Monty. Well, I mean, the Bulldogs have come out looking like a playoff team. As you said, as I saw them, they came out with a lot of intensity. They have an aggressive running ball. They were able to overcome 3 penalties. But I noticed, though, on 2 to 4th down plays, Kirsten Williams, their big D-line guy, has been coming in to help them with the blocking assignments. Also, as well, in that last touchdown run, number 88, Aiden Williams, sealed off the end for that great run by Chase Barrett. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Teddy. First down and 10 for Justin Northwest, moving left to right, 7-11 on the clock. Tie ball game, 21-21. This is going to be a handoff to Drew Ashley. Runs back. He wants to throw the football. Left-handed thrower throws a pop fly down the field, and it is incomplete. He was trying to hit his receiver down there, and on the reception or on the pass was Arsenio Phillips. Again, last week he was the leading receiver with 6 catches, 80 yards, and Drew Ashley better stick to running the football because he can't throw it very well.
Well, and that he just didn't sell it well because Ashley, just because he's a good runner, gets to the line of scrimmage and beyond very quickly. But this time he just kind of meandered in the backfield there. You knew something was up, and I was just waiting for him to throw the ball until finally he did.
And that ball looked more like a punt than it did a pass. Here's second down and 10, 7:03 to go in the third. It's going to be a handoff. Ashley, this time he's going to run it, and he does, trying to spin out of tackles and makes his way up to the 43-yard line. It'll be a gain of 3 on the play, third down and 7 coming up.
So that's what I'm talking about. See how quickly he got to the line of scrimmage there. That was an off-tackle play, but he wasted no time. That's how you knew that prior play was going to be a trick play because he's just moseyed back there for the longest time. But this time around he got through quickly, but the defensive line actually held him up, and they're going to have to do that a lot more in the second half if they're going to limit what Ashley does.
All knotted up in Fort Worth, Texas, 21-21, 6:30 on the clock. Northwest has the football moving left to right. McAngus wants to throw under pressure now, swings it out on the swing pass to his receiver who breaks away for a first down to the 48 in McKinney North territory. And on the reception for Justin Northwest was Brandon Hall, the 5'10", 170-pound senior, hauls it in for the first down.
Yeah, there's no reason he should be that wide open because McAngus was looking at him the whole way. Now, I understand their man coverage and the cornerback took off, but somebody's got to cover him out of the flat.
Ball will rest at the 47-yard line in McKinney North territory. He's going to snap back and hand off to Ashley, running right tackle, and he is swarmed and now cuts it back over the other side, has lots of running room, has another first down, passes the 35 to the 32-yard line, and Drew Ashley picking up a big chunk there.
So like I said, this guy's got good vision of the field. He was able to cut it back very quickly.
Kind of
he
like
saw that he had no lane there.
Kind of like the old Tony Dorsett films that you used to watch. You go one side, and if you don't see anything there, just turn around and go the other way. That's what Drew Ashley did, and it's first down and 10 with 5:46 left to go in the third. All knotted up, 21-21. Shotgun formation for Will McAngus. Sends 2 receivers to the right side. Ashley stands to his left, is going to hand off to him, running right guard. Tippy-toeing his way for 5 yards and maybe 6. As he carries down to the 26-yard line, and that will be a 6-yard pickup.
That's his 200th yard on the night.
He opened the season with 216 against Granbury, had 233 against Red Oak, 165 against Saginaw Boswell, 136 against McKinney, 129 against Keller Central, 183 against Frisco Centennial, and last week he had 119. Second down and 4. It's going to be a handoff once again. Now this time McAngus is going to keep it in lots of room. Another first down inside the 20 down to the 15-yard line. Just what you would normally call a naked bootleg, but he wasn't trying to hide it really in any way. He just tucked it and ran it.
Well, he's now up to 31 yards on 6 carries, and that's basically all that was. But again, it's keyed off the fake to Ashley. The defense is going one way. They faked Ashley on the right side, then McAngus goes to the left, and there's not as many people there because they're keying on Ashley.
Third quarter clock down to 4:44. Shotgun formation for McAngus, and he's going to hand off Ashley, and this time, no, he's going to keep it up right side again. He's selling that fake really well, and McKinney North is biting. Makes his way down to the 5-yard line, and I think he's going to be inches short of the first down. Teddy Sappho's down there, and I believe he's got to look at it. Teddy, what do you think about this close second down call? Is it going to be a first down?
Or
Teddy's reading his Charles Dickens book again. That's okay. He's got some studying to do. He's an Austin College student. Ball will rest just inside the 5-yard line in between the 5 and the 6. Give a 10-yard run for Will McAngus. Second down in inches, and they'll probably go for the end zone here. And they just give it to Ashley, and he fights his way, and he has the first down. He's going to be in between the 3 and the 4-yard line. So first down for Northwest, all tied up 21-21, 3:49 left to go here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Another first down via the rush. It's the 8th of the night, but more importantly, that's the 4th of this drive. They haven't done anything else.
Ninth play overall on this drive. Started with 7:20 on the clock. We're down to 3:36. 2 men in the backfield this time along with McAngus, and he's still in shotgun. He's going to hand off to Drew Ashley. Big hole along the left guard, and he is in for the touchdown. So Justin Northwest will go on top once again. 27-21 awaiting the PAT.
That's now 205 yards rushing, 20 carries, 3 touchdowns, and 0 for 1 passing. Not as climactic when you end the 0 for 1 passing category there.
I believe that it was his first pass of the year for Drew Ashley, and it was. He's had 2 receptions for 17 coming in. Stephen McMullen on for the PAT, kicks it high and a little bit to the right, but they say it's good. 28-21, 3:27 left to go in the third quarter. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms. It was a 60-yard drive that took 9 plays, and it took off about 4 minutes, actually 3 minutes and 53 seconds off the clock. And it was capped off by that 4-yard touchdown by Drew Ashley. Our new score, 28-21. Justin Northwest on top as we approach the Beef O'Brady's kickoff.
Well, we talked about the third quarter being the Bulldogs' quarter, but it's not so easy to be the Bulldogs' quarter when their offense ain't on the field.
Here's the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's going to go to Cameron Eubanks once again. It hits at the 3 and is going to go out of bounds, barely. The Northwest crowd is not real happy about that, as it barely went out of bounds right in front of the pylon. So McKinney North will probably make them kick another Beef O'Brady's kickoff. I'll tell you what, Larry Lindsay's got to be happy tonight over at Beef O'Brady's.
Yeah, maybe you should give Stephen McMullen a little bit of payback here. That's now the 4th extra kickoff we've had to do because of kicking out of bounds? Maybe 3rd, something like that.
28-21 our score, Northwest on top. Last time Cameron Eubanks touched the football on the kick return, he went 50 yards, brought it out right at the 50-yard line, and that set up the drive that Chase Barrett went in from 10 yards out. Even though McKinney North shot themselves in the foot several times with penalties, they were still able to fight enough to get the ball down the field and into the end zone.
Well, they did get bailed out by that pass interference penalty. So the one penalty saving another, basically.
3:21 on the clock, 28-21. Northwest on top. Stephen McMullen teeing it up once again. They will kick off from the 35-yard line now. And this time they won't kick it to Eubanks. They're going to kick it to an up man. And actually it does go to Eubanks. He's going to take it right up the middle, has a big seam, cuts it out right side, beats one man, 40, cuts it back inside. Nice move across the 45, and guess where he's at? Near midfield once again at the 49-yard line.
Well, he had a lot of space in front of him, but unfortunately for a big return, it wasn't right in front of him, so he had to keep cutting back, which allowed the kickoff return team that was behind Eubanks to eventually catch up with him. Now, if there was all ahead, he would have been able to get a full steam, and you can bet he's going to outrun everybody. But, again, good starting field position now for the Bulldog offense. Let's see a lot of Chase Barrett, and let's see less penalties.
They started out at the 50 last series, starting out from their own 49 here. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers near side. Max Butler goes in motion. Handoff, Chase Barrett up the middle, surging for about 3, 4, pushing his way across the 50 to the 48-yard line. So give him 3 yards on the play, as Barrett will set up a second down and about 7 here with 2:51 left to go in the third quarter.
Well, it's official. That 3-yard carry puts him at an even 1,000 yards for the season, which when you consider what game number this is only the 8th game, and it's a good total.
Maybe
real good.
J.R. Housey up here at halftime It's nice to see him getting to witness another 1,000-yard rusher for McKinney North. Here's Chase Barrett once again up the middle, and making his way down to the 42-yard line, very close to a first down. It's actually in between the 41 and the 42, and I think he's going to have to get right at the 41 to get a first down. This will be a big third down situation for McKinney North.
Yeah, it's closer to a 7-yard run than a 6-yard run, but because you didn't get that extra quarter of a yard, it's only going to go with 6, but it does put him at over 100. That's his 104th yard of the night, and they're going to need a lot more from him.
Need a surge here. Quarterback sneak. Herbal goes under center, fighting his way, trying to get to the first down marker, and I think he got it. I think he cleared it by at least a foot, but you know what? We saw that out in Mesquite, too.
Well, the back judge over there has got him for a yard and a half over, but penalty.
Well, mark off the first down. This one's going to come back against McKinney North. That is a devastating flag on 3rd and short when you pick up the first down, and now you have to bring it back.
I think they're calling Herbal for the false start because now the officials have to go over to the sideline and try to explain what happened.
Well, he ran up to the line of scrimmage from the shotgun formation on a dead run. They snapped it to him, and he surged forward for the first down.
I bet the quarterback's got to be set first.
They're going to mark the ball in between the 46 and the 47-yard line, closer to the 46. So now 3rd down and 5. Herbal stays in shotgun formation. 2 receivers left side. Wants to throw. Looking out right side. Has a man, and it's caught for a first down to Cameron Buford at the 36-yard line.
No better opportunity to get your first reception of the night than a first down that keeps the drive alive, gets you inside to the 35-yard line. Well, that's a big pickup there.
11 yards on the pass and catch from Herbal to Cameron Buford, and I'm going to tell you what, Buford was a big target. He's your Michael Irvin of this offense, the big possession receiver, and he picks up a big first down there. 1:22 left to go in the third quarter clock. 28-21, Northwest leads. McKinney North is at the Northwest 35, going right to left, pushing for more. Herbal, 2-step drop, throwing out left, the home run ball down the field. David Douglas is in position, and it falls incomplete. There could have been some bumping and grinding going on there, but it's going to fall incomplete as a nice play was made by Zach Palmer, who's in the game on defense, even though he was a big star on offense earlier in the year.
Well, you say Zach Palmer, good play. I say good play by Douglas because of the slightly underthrown ball from Herbal there. Palmer was in great position to intercept that ball, but Douglas adjusted his route, got up, and basically swiped it out of Palmer's hand. I shouldn't say hands because one's in a cast. Swiped it out of his hand and stub.
His stub. 1:07 left to go in the third quarter. Barrett moves over. They're going to run the option play again. Herbal's going to keep it this time. Makes a move to the inside route and is brought down by Collier at the 25-yard line. Another very, very close situation for a first down. And Teddy Sappho.
3rd and short.
Teddy Sappho, are you able to see this?
Of the first down by about, a few chain links.
Okay, a couple of chain links short, Teddy says, and yep, that's where they're going to mark it. The ball's at the 25-yard line, just shy of the first down. 3rd down and 1 here, and they're going to hand off Barrett this time. Has plenty of room, has the first down and more, 15, and down at the 10-yard line. Barrett broke away at the last second, had 2 guys on him, and really slipped out. He must have rubbed himself down because they weren't able to hang on to him.
That was a nice 15-yard gain. It puts him at 119, but now it's a 1st and goal at the 10. That's basically just a step or two inside the 10-yard line. It says 1st and goal at the 9, but I'm going to say more closer to the 10 on the scoreboard. But that's just a good play by Barrett, finding a hole and putting his head down and running.
Herbal's going to hand off. Chase Barrett once again running right side is met at the 6 and goes down at the 5. I thought I saw a flag come in after the play. The back judge runs in, and I do see a flag.
Well, the PA said laundry on the field, so he agrees with you.
It's going to be a face mask against McKinney North, actually a hold against McKinney North. And they will bring this one back from the spot of the infraction, and I believe it was at the very end of that play. He was at the 5, so we're probably looking at a first and goal from the 15.
And again, getting down deep, a penalty comes back and haunts him. That's just a situation which you can't do stuff like that. That's now, Monty, the 9th penalty, but the saving grace is it's only been for 50 yards.
6 seconds on the third quarter clock, 28-21. Justin Northwest leads this one. As McKinney had it first and goal from the 9, now make it first and goal from the 15. As Eric Herbal will go back in shotgun formation, send 2 receivers to the left. They're going to run that option again, and Herbal this time is going to pitch it. He was nailed, and Chase Barrett gets back to the 12-yard line. But I'm going to tell you what, Eric Herbal took a pop, and he gets up. He's okay, but I tell you, that was one of the biggest hits Herbal's taken all year.
Well, in that situation, which couldn't happen at a better time because we're at the end of the third quarter.
We'll be back with fourth quarter action. It's 28-21. Justin Northwest leading this one. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. We're a week and a half away, Brandon, but you know what? It's fun.
That's an odd return choice, though. I thought somebody was yelling at me.
Got a little Halloween action going on. It is, at least we're in the right month.
Yeah, this is not Christmas.
Here's a handoff to Barrett up the middle. He's met and is going to be dragged down for no gain. Actually, they're going to give him forward progress to the 12-yard line. And McKinney North is going to have to try a field goal here unless they're going to try to go for it on.
Well, I'm going to say not because that was a play to Barrett to run to the middle. Oh, wait, no, it's only third down now.
Yeah, it'll be third down now. The scoreboard operator had some issues going on there, so it'll be 3rd and 13.
Stop trusting him.
Actually 12. And third and goal from the 12. A bad snap. Herbal has to pick it up on the run. Throws it over and slings it across the middle and one hops the defender, actually. He was trying to go in the end zone and find his receiver, Cameron Buford, but that was really a dangerous pass by Eric Herbal.
Yeah, I think he threw that just to basically avoid a sack. But you really don't want to throw into coverage like that to avoid a sack. But luckily it was just a hair out of the range and bouncing incomplete.
A 29-yard field goal try by Blake Boblitz with 11:19 left to go in the fourth quarter. It is up, it is high enough, and I believe it split the uprights, and it did. 28-24, our new score. Justin still on top. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Saffo. 11:15 left to go here in the fourth quarter. 28-24. Justin Northwest in the lead. McKinney North needs a stop here. It was a 51-yard drive that took 9 plays, and it took 4 minutes, roughly a little over 4 minutes off the clock. And a 29-yard field goal by Blake Boblitz gives us our new score, 28-24, as we approach the Beef O'Brady's kickoff.
Putting it in the hands of your defense with 11:15 left, which in high school just seems to go quicker than any other level. For whatever reason, of course, the NFL's got just a million amount of timeouts, but this 11:15 will come by quick. So I would say that a defensive stand here is almost impervious. And here's the kick.
It is a squibber that runs right down the middle of the field, and Justin Northwest is able to jump back on it at the last second. I thought for a moment North was going to be able to get there to recover that squibber, but Justin Northwest will take over at the 35-yard line, at their own 35.
Yeah, North doing what they did there, what they did earlier in the game, where they do that little pooch kick to the dead part of the field, and they were a lucky bounce away from recovering that one. That would have been huge. And you heard the coaches next to us go just about as crazy as I did last week when we saw a play like that.
Northwest breaks the huddle, moving right to left with 11:09 on the clock. This will be Drew Ashley time for them, I'm sure. And they're going to hand off to him, trying to find that right corner. Has it, 40, 45, and is brought down past the first down marker to the 48-yard line. A 13-yard play on first down for Drew Ashley, and he is racking up some yards. He's going to be close to the 300-yard mark before it's all said and done.
Well, 218, and if you want your McKinney North Bulldogs to have success here in the fourth, you're going to hope that's not true. And they've got to stop him. That's now the 9th first down via the rush tonight. Half of that coming, coming on this half.
What they're going to try to do is run this as much time as they can off the clock and run Ashley. And this time they're going to run McAngus, who runs that near side bootleg, and nobody can tackle for McKinney North as he's able to slip away from Bo Burns and a couple of guys and makes his way out to the 36-yard line.
Well, and like I said earlier, they key the fake to Drew Ashley, and then Will McAngus comes out. Bo Burns actually read that one well, had him contained for what would have been a minimal gain, but problem is he could not wrap up and make a tackle, and Will McAngus was able to shake him off, very Earl Campbell-like, knock him to the ground and get an extra 7 yards.
Well, a 13-yard gain and now a 12-yard gain. And this is going to be a handoff. Ashley runs up the middle, and this time Kirsten Williams stops him and pushes him backwards. And he hasn't gone down yet, but now they blow the whistles, and they're going to give him forward progress out to the 36-yard line. So actually no gain on the play. Kirsten Williams stops him.
Well, they now move it up officially 1 on the play, but that's something Ashley doesn't do, is get tackled for on the ground very easily when he runs up the middle. And he was basically standing up, but Powell couldn't bring him down for it until he just had no more forward progress, and they had to whistle a dead.
We'll try to talk to Teddy Saffo after this play as we hit the 10-minute mark. 28-24, Justin Northwest in the lead. 2 receivers near side. McAngus shotgun formation, lifts his leg, wants to snap, gets it, looks out left side, wants to throw, and he underthrows his receiver, Bryant Maxwell. It'll be incomplete and bring up 3rd down and 9.
Good bump on the line of scrimmage there by a safety, actually, Brandon Dunn, who knocked him down and then prevented a timing route.
Let's talk to Teddy Saffo. What's the attitude like down there on the sidelines?
Well, it seems the attitude right now is fairly good right now. If the defense can hold Drew Ashley and stop this Texans offense, things can look good for him because Bulldog offense is on the roll right now. Back to you guys.
3rd down and 9, 9:48 on the clock. 2 receivers to either side, all spread out. 3-step drop for McAngus, wants to throw the home run ball down the middle to Collier, and it is caught at the 3-yard line. He dives to the end zone, and it is a touchdown for Justin Northwest.
Well, the defender again not turning around. You've got to look at the ball. Oh, that's defeating.
There's that horn that Brandon says is so defeating. And McKinney North is thinking that Justin Northwest is a little defeating right now as they go up 34-24, awaiting the PAT.
Yeah, just a simple fly pattern from the slot position. The defense just having a tough time reading the deep ball.
The PAT by Stephen McMullen is true, and now we have an 11-point lead, 35-24 with 9:40 left to go. Northwest on top. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Saffo. It was a 5-play, 65-yard drive for Justin Northwest and a 35-yard touchdown to Blake Collier from Will McAngus. That took a minute 35 off the clock. Gives us our new score, 35-24. Justin Northwest on top with 9:40 left to go in this game, and McKinney North's going to have to step it up, and they're going to have to step it up quick.
Well, there's 9:40 left, which is still plenty of time, even though, like I said before, it can go by pretty quickly depending on what you do. You can't sit and dawdle. You got plenty of time to score 11 points. You just got to make sure you use your time efficiently on offense and then get a stop on defense.
The Beef O'Brady's kickoff is up in the air. It's going to be a high kick. This one a little bit shorter than the other. It's going to be taken at the 25-yard line by Chase Barrett, who runs up the middle and is going to be gang tackled at the 41-yard line. He made a push up to the 41 and is knocked actually back to the 38, but forward progress will mark him up. And it'll be 1st and 10 with 9:28 left to go in this football game. And McKinney North, like we were talking, they're going to have to step it up right here. And, you know, we've been wanting Chase Barrett to kind of take everybody on his shoulders.
But now I think it's up to Herbal.
Yeah, it is. With 9:28, you know, you don't have a lot of time. Herbal's going to have to really throw this ball and throw it well.
Yeah, and you set up nicely there. It seems like no matter what Northwest does, they're going to have to give McKinney the ball at the 40 or worse. And this is at the 41. They try to pooch kick, and they take it up to the 40 on a decent return. Then they try to kick it deep, but it's knocked out of bounds. So
believe it or not, this is the worst field position North has started with this half, starting at their own 41-yard line. 2 receivers, one goes in motion. That's Eubanks, and they're going to fake the hand to him, drop back to pass. Eric Herbal has a man wide open. Aiden Williams caught it at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Stick it in the end zone. It is touchdown time in Texas with 9:21 left to go. One play, 59 yards, and it took, about 19 seconds off the clock. That's your scoring drive recap right there. And just like that, 35-30 awaiting the PAT. And will they go for 2 here?
No, don't do it. Still too much time left.
It's the swinging gate. They're going to go for 2. Chase Barrett up the middle. Is he in? And I believe he is. It is 2-point conversion time. And Brandon, I love to say you're wrong.
Well, percentage-wise, it's with me on that one. But again, it goes back to that swinging gate there. They had everybody on that side. I wasn't even watching them play. I'm glad you were, because it's just what they always do, and I think that's what Northwest was looking at too.
Barrett goes in, 35-32, a barn burner in Fort Worth, Texas. We'll be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium in Fort Worth, Texas. Monty Walker and Brandon Helms and Teddy Sappho. And Teddy, I think you got to have some happy McKinney North Bulldogs down there on the sidelines.
At this point right now, the offense has re-energized this team, but Coach Piper now is trying to get this defense to make some stops so they can put this offense back on the field so they can score some more points. Back to you guys.
Let's hope J.R. Housey is not a bad luck charm up here. As last year they had some problems, 2-8. They were a great offensive team but couldn't stop anybody last year, and that's kind of what's happening tonight. But it is a very talented Drew Ashley and Justin Northwest that's on the field tonight. Here is a very deep kickoff by Blake Boblitz on the Beefo Brady's kickoff. It's going to be taken at the goal line and runs into one of his men, escapes away initially and gets out to the 30-yard line. 9:09 left to go in this football game, and Justin Northwest breathing a 3-point lead, 35-32.
Boy, that's a wasted opportunity as the returner hit Blake Collier in the back, but somehow still managed to get an extra 11 yards out of it.
Northwest will start at their own 31-yard line is where they'll spot the ball. It'll be 1st and 10. They have a 3-point lead here. Do you still be conservative?
You got the lead.
2 receivers to the near side. McGangus is going to hand off to Drew Ashley. Is met in the backfield and dropped right at the line of scrimmage. Zach Plummer comes up big.
Along with Casey Clapp coming through, making a big stop on that side. Well, I tell you, he's not a starter on our depth sheet, but he plays big. He's one of their best defensive players in my mind. He's always seemed to be making big plays.
Ball will be at the 31-yard line, 8:45 to go. 2nd down and 10 after the no gain. One of the few times Ashley's not carried for big yards tonight. 2 receivers near side, one to the right. McGangus wants a snap and shotgun, wants to throw out right, tucks it, and now throws it, and he's trying to find Bryant Maxwell, and he made the catch at the 42-yard line in McKinney North territory, a big gainer there. McGangus pump faked back at the 30, and that allowed Bryant Maxwell some separation, and he was pretty much open when he made the catch. It'll be 1st and 10 now in McKinney North territory at the 40-yard line. They'll actually mark it at the 40. And shotgun formation once again, as always, for McGangus, and he will get it. He's going to hand off Ashley this time, and Ashley is going to go nowhere. He's met right at the line of scrimmage, and they're going to actually stop him they're going to give him out to the 30 or 42-yard line, so a loss of 2 on the play.
Well, they've, on this drive, got the stopping him Drew Ashley part down. Now they just got to stop the big play. Look back at the ball. Cornerbacks aren't playing very sound football tonight.
Checking into the game is Martin Holmes. Going out is Aiden Williams. And this time McGangus is going to try to run again. No, he's going to try to throw again, and he has his man caught. It's going to be close to a 1st down. A flag has been thrown.
Pass interference on McKinney.
Cole Permetter was in coverage once again, and I think you're right. The reception was made over there by Jacob Withers, but Permetter was right on his back the whole time, and it will be against McKinney North.
Yeah, because on that side, Coyle Permetter was just in a bump and run the whole time, and once you get the ball in the air, it doesn't matter if there's a 5-yard cushion or not. You can't touch him, and that's what he did, and Maxwell still made the catch.
Well, Justin Northwest is getting very close to being in Stephen McMullen field goal range here if they keep pushing very further.
By the way, 10th penalty on McKinney now.
The ball is going to be placed at the 32-yard line. And it'll be first down and 10. Play clock down to 18. Two receivers come near side. Bryant Maxwell to split out to the near side. Ashley in the backfield stands to the left. They're going to fake the hand to him, and McGangus is going to run left side. He is initially stopped, and he goes down at the 30-yard line, a gain of 2. And on the stop for McKinney North was Mike Smith, the backup linebacker who comes in.
And this time Bo Burns redeemed himself. Last time they ran that play, he was able to read it well but couldn't make the tackle. This time he makes a solid grab on McAngus, and help comes, and they bring him down after only 2 yards. That's been a bread and butter play for Northwest. That's why we've seen it so much lately.
Clock under 7 minutes now. McKinney North trailing by 3, 35-32. Shotgun formation. Handoff. Drew Ashley cuts it up inside and is going to escape a couple of tacklers and finally be brought down by Martin Holmes at the 25-yard line.
It's about a 5-yard gain, but they should have stopped him for 2 or 3. But the thing that's working for this DPD is the fact that the defense is pursuing. Once one misses, there's another one there.
This is a huge play in this football game. It'll be third down and 3, 6:21 left to go. McGangus in shotgun formation. He's going to run out right side. It's going to be the counter play back to the left. This is Drew Ashley has the 20, obviously has the first down, and out of bounds at the 14, or actually the 13-yard line. And what a call that was. They moved the whole motion of the play to the right side. Ashley stopped, and on his way back to the left, McAngus just handed to him, and there was nobody there.
Yeah, that was a good misdirection play. That's the first time we've seen that, and that's a good call by the Northwest team, coaches, because they haven't tipped their hand on that play, and it's a very good designed play, very well designed.
14-yard gain, first and 10 for Northwest. It's going to be a handoff to Ashley, running left tackle, big hole 10, down to the 6-yard line where he's drug out of bounds by Brandon Dunn, or is that Justin Janow? It is Brandon Dunn who makes the stop. So give Drew Ashley another 6 yards. 5:48 and rolling here in the fourth quarter, 35-32. McKinney North needs a stop. They desperately need a turnover. Play clock down to 16 as two receivers go out right side. Bryant Maxwell, the big receiver, far right side. This is going to be a handoff to Ashley. Nowhere to go here. He will cross the 5 to the 4-yard line, but that's as much of a push as he'll get. So it will bring up another crucial third down here.
This one's going to be 3rd and 2, and you've got to get a stop here, because I don't know with under 6 minutes left that you're going to be able to score twice in that amount of time and have a defensive stop in the mix, unless you, of course, do the onside.
Two receivers right side, same formation. Ashley stands to the left of McGangus. He's going to fake the hand to him. McGangus is going to try to run it in, and he's going to be down at the 3-yard line. He's going to be very, very close to that first down marker. And Teddy Sappho, you're the man on the spot. Tell us what you got. You got to be seeing that. You got to be very close, and tell us. I think he's standing right there.
Well, he's looking. Look at him.
I see Teddy looking right at that chain link.
He is going to be short of the first down. They're marking him at looks like about 3. Yeah, they're going to take out a measure right now.
So you're saying it's short?
I'm saying it's short. I thought it looked like it was about 3 chain links from where the linesmen were standing. So
all right, they're going to bring the chains out on the far side of the field. They're stretching the chains. This is huge. They are stretching, and it is.
He's short. He's short.
It is short. They're looking. They're getting the credit card out, trying to see just how far it is.
Officials already declared 4th down.
So it'll be 4th down and 1, and what we thought was a huge play a moment ago is going to only be even bigger here.
Well, I don't know. Do you, at Northwest, risk not taking or going for it here? Like I say, this is going to be a big play.
I think if you have Drew Ashley, you pretty much just hand off to him.
But again, if he stopped for no gain, which they've done before, and they've even caught him behind the line once, that's points off the board.
They've had 2 plays where he hasn't been able to get positive rushing yardage, and I think if you're Northwest, And somebody's going to call a timeout here. We'll take one, too. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Well, it is fourth down time right here for the McKinney North Bulldogs. Justin Northwest has it with 4:47 left to go in this game, up 35-32. It's fourth down and 1 at the McKinney North 4-yard line. This is huge, and the DPD, if they ever need to step up right here.
2 backs in the backfield, no tight end, Monty.
Shotgun formation, handoff Drew Ashley, surging his way. He crosses the touchdown line, and he is in. He fought for every inch he could get there. And his left arm, he had the ball in his left arm, and it actually went across the goal as he was going down. And they love that horn.
Yeah, got it. You scored. Thanks.
So Drew Ashley with another touchdown on the night. This one of the 4-yard variety. And Stephen McMullen will come on for the extra point. It is up. And it is true. 42-32 now. Northwest goes on top. 4:40 left to go. Don't go anywhere. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Audio Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Saffo. 42-32. The Northwest Texans in the lead here with 4:40 left to go as we approach the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. And it was a 11-play drive, just what the doctor ordered for Northwest. Took 4 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock, went 69 yards, and it was capped off by the 3-yard touchdown by Drew Ashley, one of many tonight that he has had. And the Beef O'Brady's kickoff will sail by Stephen McMullen down the field to Squibber. It's going to be taken by an up man, crosses the 25 and hit at the 30, and now has some running room out to the 42-yard line where he's out of bounds. And on the return was Brandon Dunn, who picked it up at about the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Brandon Dunn, the up back there, making a nice heads-up play. Then saw the crease on the side. Again, the contain's got to hold contain. That's why they're called contain, because if you get outside them, there's no one else there. No one else was there except the kicker, who slowed him up enough to let somebody else make the tackle.
McKinney North's possessions in this half have started at the 50, their own 49, their own 41, and now their own 46. So they've had great field position on each kickoff. 4:29 to work with. McKinney North has to score twice here. Down by 10. 42-32. Herbal shotgun formation on first down. Drops back 3 steps. Looking over the middle. Fires it. Has Cameron Buford, and he drops it at the 42-yard line. It was a great pass, who was fired right on the money. It didn't have much touch on it. But nonetheless, Buford probably should have had that. I'm sure he'll be the first one to tell you. It'll be second down and 10 from the 46.
Yeah, in and out of his hands coming across the middle. He would have paid for it too, but he would have had the first down and 5 more without even running.
Scores to pass along. Sherman defeated 19-2 tonight. And Denison on top 13-7 over here in Denton. Herbal wants to throw out left side, and he has his man, and it's incomplete. He's trying to hit the sideline route, and he was trying to hit David Douglas over there, and he just overthrew him by a little bit.
Well, also didn't overthrow him. It was in and out of his hands, but Herbal let go before Douglas had even made his cut, which by timing route, that's what you're supposed to be, but by the time he turned around, he wasn't ready for that, maybe a hair too soon.
The last score we got in McKinney not too long ago, 21-17 over Frisco Centennial. Centennial had kicked a field goal to make it that score in the fourth quarter. Herbal dropped back on third down and 10. Looks over to the right side, has a man, and it's intercepted by Blake Collier at the 35-yard line. He's up to the 50-45, dragging Cameron Eubanks down to the 31-yard line. That could seal the deal for McKinney North tonight. With 4:11 left to go here in the football game, they trail 42-32, and now Northwest takes over at the McKinney North 30-yard line, rather.
Just an underthrown pass by Herbal. He wasn't under pressure. He was set in the pocket. And Blake Collier playing the center field position, read it beautifully, stepped up, leaped, made the interception, and had a nice return out of it.
Well, it'll definitely be Drew Ashley time right now as they will try to chew up this 4:11 remaining on the clock, and McGangus actually is going to keep it here and head up to the 20-yard line and have another first down. However, there is a golden hanky on the ground at the 25-yard line, and those are usually holding calls, and we'll check it and see.
Well, I was just thinking, as you said, definitely Drew Ashley time. They've got a lot of yards on that little fake right there to McGangus, or rather fake to Ashley run by McGangus. I think you're going to see it's combo time between those two. Penalty is holding against the Texans, which will help out North, but they need a turnover.
While we're thinking about it, we want to thank Germain Designs for our uniforms that they provide for us each year. They have done that year in and year out for not only our crew, but Sherman and Denison as well. We want to thank them with our nice little logos on the sleeves. Always have somebody comment on them at the Beef O'Brady's Coaches Show every week, every Wednesday night. One thing that penalty does, it allows the clock to run down a little bit, and now we're under 3 minutes with 3:53 and rolling. 15 on the clock. They're going to take their time here. They're in the huddle. McGangus now gets them out. 9 seconds on the play clock. Down to 5 now. Shotgun formation. They're going to try to snap it with one. They do snap it now. Ashley, big hole, has the 30, has the 25-20, and wrestled down at the 15-yard line. He had one man to beat. He couldn't shake him, but it's enough for the first down, and that Drew Ashley is something to watch now.
Yeah, nice 20 yards there. Puts his total up to 265 in the game. Wow.
First down and 10 for Justin Northwest at the 15-yard line. 3:21 left to go. The season is not over at all for McKinney North, even though they look like they're probably going to lose this game, as the clock is now at 3:09. They still have a 3-2 record, and Ashley is met hard at the line of scrimmage, but somehow fights forward for 3 yards down to the 12. And we're looking at the scenario if North loses and McKinney holds on to win their game, that really throws a logjam into second place in this district, as Hebron, I'm sure, is beating Frisco tonight. That would make Frisco 3-2. Northwest with a win tonight would be 3-2. McKinney with a win would be 3-2. McKinney North with a loss would be 3-2.
And then there's so many tie-breaking scenarios there. McKinney North, they'll have lost to Northwest, defeated McKinney, defeated Frisco. So where do you juggle all that, you know?
Yeah, next week, McKinney.
Ooh, penalty. Well, that's a big one.
Next week, McKinney North is going to face Keller Central. And right now, Keller Central is 0-5. Or actually, they're 0-5. Assuming they're losing tonight. Now, that's not set in stone because we're playing Lake Dallas over there. Keller Central and Lake Dallas is probably a good football game, but
just had a dead ball penalty, the personal foul against the Texans, marching back 15.
Well, the ball now is at the 27-yard line, and they're going to hand off. Drew Ashley running near side, runs over a McKinney North defender and draws a flag. Bo Burns is going to get credited for the tackle, but he was just in the way. They're going to call a face mask, I believe, on one of the McKinney North Bulldogs.
I think they're going to get Burns because as soon as he was hit, was grabbing for anything as he was falling, yeah. 5-yard face mask.
Drew Ashley was a freight train on that play, and Bo Burns just stepped in front of a locomotive.
Yeah, when Ashley gets running forward, he's a load to bring down.
And this kid is a sophomore.
Wow.
2 more years of Drew Ashley, and if you're McKinney and McKinney North, you're hoping that they realign way out of this district. Because that young man's going to be a monster before it's all said and done. So after all the crazy penalties, it's second down and 10 with 2:15 on the clock now. The ball is resting at the 18-yard line in McKinney North territory. Moving right to left is Justin Northwest. They're going to hand off Drew Ashley once again. Big hole up the middle. And no, it was McGangus who kept it, sold the fake very nicely, and makes his way down to the 11-yard line. So a nice 7-yard pickup there. And, the rushing totals are going to look absolutely awful for McKinney North's defense tonight.
Well, it'll be over 300 total, and depending on what happens the rest of the way, can dictate a little bit more. Right now, 275 for Drew Ashley, 68 for Will McAngus. The only other player to record a rushing stat is Arsenio Phillips for 2. So right now we're looking at about 345 total rushing.
The Bulldogs had given up 1,519 yards rushing coming into tonight's game and only 622 yards passing. They were also averaging, really only giving up 22 points per game. That obviously will go up a little bit tonight, giving up 42 here to Justin Northwest, and at least 42. As with a minute 50, Northwest could even add some more here.
They could. We'll see how Hebron like they are.
Yeah, Coach Brian Brazel from Hebron, he didn't mind going for it on 4th down when the game was out of reach, did he? We'll see what Leonard McAngus does. Talking about Leonard McAngus, he's in his 4th year. He's 14-23 here at Justin Northwest. More than likely would be 15-23.
Well, and he did have to take over a program from scratch. Just, ask Sean Pratt about those first-year numbers, just how skewed they can be for your overall record.
Well, Sean Pratt's 13-23, very similar records. Overall record for Leonard McAngus is 51-50, soon to be 52-50. He came from Gonzales before he got here to Justin Northwest.
If you know anything about high school football, Gonzales is generally one of the better teams in whatever district they're aligned in. They're usually a playoff team year in, year out. So the fact that he went from there to here shows he has some talent, and that Northwest was rightly interested in him.
There's been a timeout on the play. The officials are talking over some things, if you're wondering.
What's weird is the referee is talking with the Northwest side, as there wasn't a penalty on Northwest that I'm aware of. So I wonder what's going on. Maybe they're upset over a non-call. I'd hate to speculate when I don't know or even have an educated guess on.
A minute 50 on the clock. And a 42-32 lead for Justin Northwest.
Apparently the hubbub was about, they initially called Northwest with the timeout, but McKinney actually called it.
It'll be 3rd down and 6 when we resume action here. The ball's at the 11-yard line in McKinney North territory. And Teddy Sappho, it probably is a defeated McKinney North team down there. If you're able to hear, talk about the attitude of the team right now. It's got to be very solemn.
Attitude is very solemn because this team did come out very aggressive in the second half. I mean, the offense looked very sharp, but it seems they fell a little bit short, especially that last 4th down play where Drew Ashley was able to stretch out and just get that touchdown by inches. That seemed like that just deflated the team. So hopefully, if they can just bounce back from this loss, I mean that'll be big. But that was a killer. That was a killer right there for them.
Have you been able to see what's going on down there right now? I know Sean Pratt's talking to the official.
The controversy is right now if it's supposed to be 4th down, because I did happen to talk to one of the McKinney players. I believe I talked to Aiden Williams, and he said that there was possibly a foul in the play, and they're deciding if they should if the down should be repeated or if it should be 4th down. So that's a controversy right now they're trying to sort out.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy.
Well, what I thought it was a dead ball foul, which means the down should be the same at 3rd here.
Well, they've already put 7 seconds back on the clock for some reason.
It's because once you hit a dead ball foul, you stop the clock. And we've seen the scoreboard operator not entirely on his game today in other categories like timeout, so it's quite possible that happened there.
Well, right now there's a minute 57 as we're just about to get it back underway. 42-32, Justin Northwest in the lead with a minute 57 left to go in this game. They have the ball at the McKinney North 11-yard line. It's 3rd down and 6. Shotgun formation for Northwest. Handoff to Ashley. Lots of room at the 10, 5, and a down at the 3-yard line. Has the first down. It'll be 1st and goal from the 3.5.
Again, it's very Chase Barrett-like. If we compared these two backs, he does seem to be a slightly better back at this point about getting the extra yardage needed, but it's quick, stiff hand, and that's something Chase Barrett's really good at, is the stiff arm. And the defender fell flat, and once that defender who had the only position to make the tackle fell down, it was all but sidelined for Drew Ashley until they got into the secondary, and the secondary actually made a good solid tackle.
First down and goal from the 3, a minute 28 on the clock. Shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the left side, 1 to the right. Handoff to Drew Ashley going to the right side, cuts it back in, goes down to the 1-yard line, and that's where he's going to stop. So with a minute 17 and rolling here, Northwest is another 1 yard away from sticking this one in.
Well, now 286, so unless Northwest carries or gets one more possession, rather, I don't think you'll see a 300-yard performance from Ashley.
Timeout on the field. We'll take one, too, with a minute 15 left, 42-32. Justin Northwest back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Handoff, Drew Ashley leaps for the goal line, and he is in for the touchdown. With a minute 10 left to go, Justin Northwest extends their lead and ends any shot at McKinney North winning this football game. Right now it's 48-32, awaiting the PAT.
5 touchdowns for Ashley today. And that's to go with 2 touchdown passes from Will McAngus.
So the 1-yard touchdown by Drew Ashley. May have a career night going on, and I'm sure he does. There's the PAT. So make it 49-32. A minute 10 left. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium, and a lot of people are going to be needing a remedy across McKinney tonight. As right now the Justin Northwest Texans leading 49-32 with a minute 10 left to go, and McKinney North's going to follow the 3-2 in district, along with a bunch of other teams. Frisco is going to be 3-2 after their loss to Hebron tonight, unless something crazy went on over there in that football game.
Which may not necessarily be a bad thing. I have no law of loss for Hebron there.
Last we heard, McKinney was still winning in the fourth quarter, 21-17. If they can hang on, they will be 3-2 in 9-4A. And Justin Northwest with a win tonight will also be 3-2. Here's the Beef O'Brady's kickoff. It's going to be taken by Cameron Buford at the 10-yard line. Cuts it up to the 20 and down at the 24-yard line, and that's the worst field position that McKinney North has had here in the second half.
Yeah, it comes with a minute 5 left in the game.
So a minute 5 on the clock. We'll see what McKinney North elects to do if they try to air this one out and try to get a last-minute touchdown and at least cut the lead down a little bit and give you a shot. I don't know that there is really a good shot, but
not when you're down.
You don't want to go down trying or not fighting anyway.
Down 17 at this point.
Well, here's a crazy formation. Everybody stacked to the left side. It's going to be a toss back to Chase Barrett, and he has the first down. He's wrestled out of bounds.
Eubanks.
Is it Eubanks? It is Eubanks over on that far side. We're way up here in the brand new $19 million complex, and I'm having a hard time with these jersey numbers. A minute left, or 59 seconds actually. It'll move the sticks. The ball will go. It was actually the swinging gate.
Yeah.
Is what it was. Everybody was stacked on the left side. Herbal actually went under center. He was a man that was under center and just snapped it back to Eubanks. Original set here, 3-step drop for Herbal, looking over to the left side, now looks over the middle, throws a high floater way up in the air, and Max Butler goes up with it, but it falls incomplete. 2 men were right there on coverage, and it does fall incomplete. That one could have been picked off as well, as in coverage was Zach Palmer.
Not sure if the swinging gate's effective in this situation. Number one, you've now shown a play that's on film, and number two, you did it on the short side of the field. Where there's not as much room as if you'd done it on the other side, because it was on the left hash mark, and then they ran a play to that left side.
Second down or second down rather, and 10. 2 receivers to either side. And Herbal drops back, wants to set up the screen, and does to Eubanks, who has the 40, 45, 50, and down at the 44-yard line in Justin Northwest territory with 40 seconds left to go.
21-yard pass. Nice in this situation.
So the ball will be at the 44-yard line. Clock will roll on the whistles, on the ref's whistle, and is rolling now. Two-step drop for Herbal. Looking left side, now looks across the middle, has a man, and it's caught at the 22. And Eubanks will go down there at the 22. The clock's still rolling at 24 seconds. North is hustling to try to get on the ball now. An 18-yard pickup once again from Herbal to Eubanks there. Clock rolling, 22-21. Herbal back to pass, looking right side, steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to have to run it. Crosses the 20, 15, 10, and 5. Wrestling towards that end zone and goes down inbounds at the 2-yard line. A nice run by Herbal, but I believe that's going to be it. The clock stops momentarily to move the chains. There's 10 seconds on the clock. Herbal might get up here and just spike it. He sends everybody to the line, 10 seconds. They roll the clock now, 9, 8. Herbal spikes the ball, 7 seconds to go.
Well, it was a good run, but you needed to try to get out of bounds there. And instead, he tried to get to the end zone.
North looks really defeated as they walk back over to talk to Coach Sean Pratt and company. They have 7 seconds on the clock, and really it's just all about pride here. It's 49-32, trying to cut the lead to, a 10-point margin of loss, actually. But you thought that McKinney North might have a shot to win this game. They came in as favorites, according to one website. They have it actually. I was looking for that, and they did come in as favorites by 5 points over Justin Northwest. They will not be close to that, as right now it's a 17-point lead.
Well, I don't know how you judge that because when McKinney played Northwest was 28-point favorites, so I don't put any stock in whatever ratings they ever come up with on those, especially at the high school level. It's just a lot more difficult just because there's so many more teams and they don't all play each other.
7 seconds on the clock. It'll be first and goal from the 3-yard line for McKinney North, trying to salvage some positive attitudes out of this as they try to fight for one last touchdown here with 7 seconds on the clock. They'll have a couple of shots at it, you would think.
According to the scoreboard, there's 2 timeouts left.
Shotgun formation for Eric Herbal. Chase Barrett stands to his left, now moves to his right. Herbal rolling out right side, wants to pass, and looking for the end zone, throws it in there, and it is caught, and it is touchdown time in Texas. Max Butler comes down with the catch, and hopefully that gives some positive reinforcement for the attitudes of the McKinney North Bulldogs. That'll make the score 49-38, down by 11, waiting the PAT. There's 4 seconds on the clock, and Blake Boblitz was probably just going to boot this one through, and we'll see. They may just, they break out of that swinging gate look, and Boblitz will now come in for the PAT. Boblitz back. The snap is good. The kick is up, and it is no good. Boblitz, a rare miss. And the final score, more than likely, we have 4 seconds left to go, 49-38. Northwest on top. We'll take a timeout. Be back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM. Welcome back to Northwest ISD Stadium. Monty Walker along with Brandon Helms and Teddy Sappho. 4 seconds left to go on this game clock. 49-38. Justin Northwest leading this one. And again, if you just tuned in, this is going to throw a logjam into the District 9 4A race. Assuming Hebron won tonight over Frisco, that would make Hebron 5-0. And assuming McKinney held on to beat Frisco Centennial, the last score we had was 21-17. That means McKinney North will be 3-2, McKinney will be 3-2, Frisco will be 3-2, and Justin Northwest will now be 3-2.
Comes the onsides.
The Beef O'Brady's onside kick will happen in just a second as Blake Boblitz has it teed up at the 40-yard line. 7 men over there for the North Bulldogs trying to recover this kick. It's not going to go far enough. It's not going to meet the requirement of the 10 yards that it had to go, and there'll be a flag on the play.
I think they recovered it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yep, that's the end of the football game as the Northwest Texans come out and they will shake hands with the McKinney North Bulldogs. Now, the McKinney North Bulldogs are having a discussion about this. They're asking if that can end the game. So there will be a little discussion. They may. The officials are discussing this right at the 50-yard line. There's no time left on the clock. I would think that would be the end of the game. And there's a false start, obviously, against McKinney North. It is a 5-yard penalty, and that is the end of the game. So McKinney North takes it on the chin tonight. They led only one time in this football game. 49-38, the final score here. We'll wrap it up in a few moments on this McKinney ISD football timeout. Well, singing the blues a little bit tonight as McKinney North takes it on the chin, 49-38. Thought for a while that McKinney North was going to be able to hang in there and pull this one out, as they were really close all night long. Just stood with them toe-to-toe, but really the difference in this football game was Drew Ashley and his 5 touchdowns and nearly 300 yards.
Well, 34 carries, 287 yards. They were feeding it to him quite a bit, and the thing is they still managed to get 163 yards passing, just the defense not having a banner day at all, and really had a hard time getting a stop, especially when they needed it there at the end, and that really provided the difference.
Nearly 1,500 yards for Drew Ashley through 8 games. And that young man is a sophomore, 6 foot, 185-pound sophomore. And McKinney and McKinney North, you better hope that you're a long way away from this district next year as they go through a realignment. The McKinney North Bulldogs are down on the field. Teddy Seffo is trying to round up head coach Sean Pratt, and I believe he's standing by with him as they walk out towards, well, I don't know if that's Coach Pratt or not. Teddy has somebody down there. And Teddy, take it away.
Coach, your team came out a little bit flat in the first half, but in the second half they're really aggressive. Tell us a little more about that.
Well, I think we came out very flat, and didn't play the kind of game we talked about playing. Got out of, and you get behind like that, you get out of your game plan a little bit. But we came out with a little more fire in the second half and played a little better. But I think it's hard sometimes to battle all the way back and keep battling back. I give them credit to Northwest, and I knew they'd be ready to go and play well, and they did. And we it's a setback, but we'll be back next week. We'll start work tomorrow and come out here next week and try to win the last 2.
Coach, the difference was Drew Ashley. He rushed for 287 yards. He had 5 touchdowns. How do you feel your defense responded?
Well, I mean, obviously we're not happy with how we played defensively, but I give them credit. They're a very good offensive line, and the back was very good, and the quarterback was good. I mean, I give them credit.
Coach, it's not over. You guys are 3-2 in district play, and right now we've got a few scores in, and it seems like everybody's 3-2 now. But how do you guys going to rebound for next week?
Oh, we'll rebound. I mean, we're going to keep our heads up. We're going to go back to work tomorrow. We're going to go try to win the last 2 ball games.
Thanks, Coach, for your time.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, Teddy Seffo. And a very upbeat Sean Pratt down on the field. And you like to see that. Take your licks. They got beat by a good football team tonight. They didn't come out with a lot of energy early on in this football game. But like Teddy said and like Coach Sean Pratt said, not out of it by any means. You're 3-2 in district, and you hold a tiebreaker over a lot of these guys.
Yeah, the ones you don't now are Northwest, who's even with you, but the ones you do are McKinney, Frisco, and then they also have Hebron above them. But then again, there's just that huge log jam, and we'll wait to see what happens. We've got Frisco Centennial and Keller Central coming up, and those are definitely 2 winnable games. So things still look good for them. The only one, again, they don't have the tiebreaker with is Justin Northwest. But remember, they have the tiebreaker, or they don't have the tiebreaker with McKinney, who beat them earlier. So if they all come up tied for one playoff spot, it'll be interesting to see how things shake down.
Well, they did beat McKinney 14-13, so they hold the tiebreaker over McKinney.
Right, Northwest didn't beat McKinney.
Right, yeah. So right now, as it stands, it's a log jam. 3-2 for McKinney North, McKinney assuming they held on, Frisco, and now Justin Northwest. Some scores to pass along. Sherman was beat tonight at the Voodoo Palace in Wichita Falls 19-2. Denison beat Denton tonight 16-8. Denison enters the playoffs. They have clinched a playoff spot in District 5 4A with that win. McKinney, the last score again we had was 21-17. We're trying to find a final on that if anybody has one. I would say call the Katy Depot, but I think they're on their way to try to find that one anyway. We'll try to have that final here in just a moment. We're going to have the stats coming up. We'll also have the highlights. And, again, the final score, 49-38, Justin Northwest on top. Back in a moment on 97.5 K-Lake FM.